Sanbonani, hello. Greetings to everyone who's here. We are about to start. Can we request that everyone who is outside get in? Can everyone who's outside get in? We're about to start. Can we try to get everyone who's outside inside and everyone seated, please? In the meantime, everyone can sit down. Stelo. Where's Stelo? Sanbonani, we are about to start. All our dignitaries have arrived. So we're just waiting for everyone to be calm, cool and collected, and then we can start. I think that's the message that I want to pass, DJ Bongs. You can play softly your music while we are waiting for more people to come in.
Guys, could you please advise the people who are sitting next to you who are not there that in the next 10 minutes we will be closing the doors because dignitaries will be coming in. So just advise them to quickly come into the hall. So anybody that is sitting with you that is not there, kindly send them a text. 10 minutes siyavala umnyango ngoba leadership zabe ngaphakathi. Thank you very much.
Everyone to stand by their seats. And can we all stand on our feet as we welcome the leadership? The leadership is about to get in. It's not for me to say who are they. There is a person who's designated to say that. Amagerilla akawakhathali, so lento yokuma nje into enijwayele kabi door to door. Akuyona irally lethu lesi. Okay, apologies. I think I'm gonna owe you for this one. Please sit down. Are they here? Okay. You guys can sit down. They will signal for. They can't sit down. Okay. Apologies. 10 seconds, they'll be here. The 10 seconds will be welcoming the leadership. They're here, comrades. Can we clap as they enter the room? The leadership is here of the country and of the African National Congress and of the African National Congress Youth League. Welcome, leadership. Awetambo iyawo wetambu yelelema sekuzokale pazuka si awetambo wetambu yelelema sekuzokale pazuka si sishongo basesifikile thina Bafana bomkhon sekuzokale pazuka sishongo basesifikile thina Bafana bomkhon sekuzokale pazuka awetambo Wetambu yelelema sekuzokale pazuka awetambo wetambu yelelema sekuzokale pazuka amandla. Thank you, comrades. You can have your seats. Greetings to everyone who is here today. The leadership of the African National Congress nationally, the leadership of the African National Congress in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, the ANC Youth League National Youth Task Team is led by Comrade Joy and Comrade Nongeba, MSs and ministers who are here today. We are going to start our program, and we apologize for being this late and for starting this late. I must say that, Comrade Mambata, that in many years, this is our first gala dinner. We were in the NSC, we had celebrations of the ANC Youth League, anniversaries. We were in the NYTT. The NYTT came back again, but this kind of an arrangement has not really happened. So we're also trying to find our fits. But really one must thank the fundraiser for leading such a program. Comrades, my name is Sizophila Mkhize. Born in Nkandla. I'm from here, KwaZulu-Natal. I am the current national spokesperson of the ANC Youth League, and I will be directing today's program, which will try by all means ukuthi bemfishane. I am not alone. I am with Comrade Kulegani Skosana, who is an NYTT member, but also who is heading our international relations. he recently got elected in a biggest and the oldest youth formation in the world as a vice president. That organization is called UC. It was led, last time the Youth League led it, it was led by Comrade Mbalula as the president and led by Comrade Vuyeswa as the vice president. Now, Comrade Kulegani is the third from the Youth League to lead it and will be co-directing today's program. It will be very short. We'll try by all means also to limit our speakers because we're also dealing with the issue of curfew. We have a person that is going to come and acknowledge everyone who's here, but we must say because of the next item that here, because we're in KwaZulu-Natal province, and this gala dinner is hosted in eThekwini region, but also eThekwini metro. There is a mayor amongst us of the metro, and we are going to ask him to come and welcome us here today, Comrade Mxolisi Kaunda.
Amanda. Row, young lions, row. Thank you very much, program directors, the deputy president of USP, Comrade Nkize. We are also happy to be received by your good selves as the membership of the ANC and the Youth League. The senior members of the Youth League, you know, we are still young at heart. Let me take this opportunity to greet our leadership, Comrade Umam Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, the NEC and the NWC member, the president of the ANC Women's League and the NEC member, Comrade Ubatabile Dlamini, Sibingelele Comrade David Mason, the NEC member of the ANC. We also wish to greet our provincial chairperson of the African National Congress, Comrade Gala, leading the PEC members who are present today, the NTT convener and the coordinator and the provincial, as well as all regions present, honorable guests, invited mayors, as well as the MECs who are also present. You are all welcome. Comrades, we are delighted to be with you here to celebrate the anniversary of the ANC Youth League, the 77th anniversary. We welcome you in eThekwini. This is your revolutionary home. This is a home of Dr. Langalibalele Dube, the first president of the African National Congress. It's also a home of the first president of the ANC Youth League, Comrade Anton Lembede. So you chose the right venue to be hosted here in this province, in this region, because of our own relationship with the ANC Youth League. All the former leaders of the ANC Youth League, I recognize them. I can see them. There are many comrades here, Comrade Abner and many comrades who are present. Comrades, you are all welcome. We wish you all the best. And we are happy to see the Youth League being revived. We have seen you on the ground, hitting the ground running. That really brings about hope and inspiration to the youth of our country that they now have their home. We have disappeared for some time, but we have full confidence in you and in your leadership that you'll take this ship to the right direction. With that, you are all welcome, comrades. Thank you very much.
Siyabonga kakhulu mhlonishwa, Baba Mayor, Comrade Kaunda. I must say that Comrade Kaunda has been characterized as one of the bravest leaders that the African National Congress has. We are going to shoot straight, comrades. Time is not really on our side. And we are here today in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. This program is the program, yes, of the NYTT, the National Youth Task Team of the ANC Youth League. But we're in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. And we must say that we thank the comrades of the PCPC of KwaZulu-Natal for allowing us to host such a program in their province. We are going to request that we've seen that a senior comrade who's here is a fundraiser, and we're going to ask her to come and let us know who is here. Now, she is a fundraiser, ne? Enigama lakhe unomnotho. So lendi yadibana. Umuntu womnotho. She's also a fundraiser. So the ANC Youth League is really going to be financially fueled by Imbogodo. This Youth League is led by Imbogodo, and it's a very good thing to see. Comrade Nomnot.
Thank you very much, Comrade Program Director, Comrade Sizo, ANC Youth League NYTT led by Comrade Nongeba and Comrade Joy, ANC NEC members present, Comrade Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, ANC Women's League President, Comrade Batabile Dlamini, ministers and MECs present here today, ANC PEC led by Comrade Gala as chair, ANC Youth League PC members present, ANC Youth League PC members present, all regions of KZN, leaders of PYA, leaders of ANC Youth League from other provinces. I'm sorry, I'm short. Leaders of ANC Youth League from other provinces, leaders of various structures, head of industries, progressive business leaders, prestigious guests, I greet you all. By introduction, my name is Nomnoto Lembete, as Comrade Sizo has told you. I'm the ANC Youth League KZN PCPC fundraiser. My task here is the simplest of them all, is to just acknowledge the guests that are here today and welcome all young people who are here today in this fundraising gala dinner organized by NYTT of the ANC, hosted here in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. I would firstly like to take this opportunity and extend our appreciation to the NYTT for choosing our province as a host for this critical event, which is Gala Dinner. This Gala Dinner takes place within a cloud of economic disparities which have affected all of us in resulting from the COVID pandemic. The young people of SA at large are looking for hope at this hour of despair, and the ANC Youth League must rise up to the occasion, placing the youth at the center of the national building process. As young people of this province, I would also like to welcome all people here in this room, that you are welcomed by young people of this province. I will acknowledge the guests that are here, but also noting that some are coming in while the program is running. So, engizobe ngingambizanga la angixolele. We have Minister of Kokta, who's also the NEC member of the ANC, Umama Udokotela Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma la endlini. Sibe no Deputy Minister of Finance, Dr. David Masondo. We also have the Member of Parliament, who is Chief Whip of Human Settlement Portfolio Committee, Colin Malachi, who's also an NYTT member. We also have the Member of Parliament, Itumeleng Tsube. Ndunankulu waKwaZulu Natal, Comrade Sihle Gala. MEC of Transport, Community Safety and Liaison, Umam Comrade Peggy Nellis Wankonyeni. MEC of Finance in KZN, Upilei. MEC of Agriculture, Umambongi Moloi Histole. MEC of Health, Usis Nomagugu Smelane. MEC of Arts and Culture, Sports and Recreation, Hlengiwe Mavimbela. Umeya weThegu, uComrade Mqolisi Khawunda Obela. Sibe neMeya district engivela kuyo, iKing Cetshwayo, uComrade Lindo Phungula. Siphinde sibe neMeya yaseHerigwala, uComrade Zamonqa Umalo, who's also an ANC regional chairperson. Sino mongameli we-Women's League, Umam Bathabile Dlamini. Sibe ne-ANC Women's League YWD convener, uPrecious Banda. ANC Youth League convener, uComrade Nongceba Mhlawuli. Comrade or ANC Youth League NYTT coordinator, Comrade Joy Maimela. I also recognize all ANC Youth League NYTT members that are present here today. ANC Youth League PCPC fundraiser, who's myself, Nomnoto Lembede. No, comrades, umuntu fanele ayigcizelele leyo ukuthi ufundraiser so that ufundraiser funa umbone nje ebhekele mayihamba ukuthi no, this is fundraiser. Ufundraiser ubingelelwa ngemali. As soon as ephenduka nje ubusumnikeza okuncane. Sibe nesas no or ama ANC Youth League PCPC members of KZN. I will mention them, comrades, since best upisile la province in yabo ngizoba mention bonke who are here. We have Comrade Fundo Martin, Comrade Usbonelo Nomvalo, who's also our spokesperson. Comrade Usbusiso Khumalo, Comrade Tulisa Ndlela, and Comrade Qiniso Mnguni. We have SASCO Secretary General, Comrade Buthanani Ngwane, SASCO Deputy Secretary General, Vezinhlanhla Simelane. Okwambe kuphela lapho comrades, amandla.
Sanibonani, sanibonani, sanibonani. Ninjani. Aveni bahle nje. Bukani yo, hayibo. Can we clap hands for ourselves for looking for so beautiful? All in the name of the African National Congress Youth League. This is a display by young people that were prepared to take this organization to conference. Igama ke mina ke umfana omncane nje waseMamelodi ukhulekani wakaSikhosana ukhulekani vice president. Ngiyakuzwa sizo uyazama ukintroduce leadership konja. Kodwa, I don't think you did it sufficiently, so I'll introduce myself. Kanti-ke mina ngizongixolela, mina ngiyaphapha nje ngokwemvelo. Igama, as I said, ukhulekani, umondli, wakasikhosana. First of all, in my name, you can hear that there is no derogatory names. There's no Nelson like they did to Rolihlahla. My parents were very conscious and they make sure that I do not have an English name. So I am very proud to be African. I am very proud to be South African and Ndebele. And I must say, before I get to the meat of why I am standing in front of you, hey, lokudla kuzosdisturb konje, hey. I was saying that it took the ANC about 3 months to debate our names. And finally, the product is our leadership in the form of Comrade Nongceba Mhlawuli, who is our convener, and Comrade Joy Maimela, who is our coordinator. But what impresses me is that in the appointment of the current leadership of the Youth League, and we must thank the ANC and clap hands very loudly. Comrades, the Youth League is led by 4 young women who are serving in the form of officials. Mina and Abo Colin were very small in that TT. The convener is a young woman. The coordinator is a young woman. The spokesperson is a young woman. The treasurer general is a young... Come on. I don't see the hands. That table, you are not clapping for young women leading young people of South Africa. We said that the Youth League can never die under the leadership of Julius Malema. And you don't seem to be proud of this. Can we please clap hands for these young women? They deserve it. Amandla! Awethu! Wathinta abafazi! Wathinta imbokodo! Anizwakali kahle ngathi ngithi ngithe wathinta imarshmallow anizwakali. Wathinta abafazi! Wathinta imbokodo! Yeah. All right, ke sesingena enyameni manje ke. I-main course. I am a young person, so forgive me for attempting a bit of controversy. Imsebenzi wami, I cannot tiptoe through my youth just to make it to eldership safely. I must be a bit provocative. And I want to say that Comrade Colin and all my colleagues who are here, that our generation wants to change the African National Congress. We're tired of an African National Congress whose leaders are consistently and constantly accused of corruption. We want to transform the ANC. When will our leaders in the African National Congress be accused of service delivery? When will our leaders compete on who built the biggest hospital and who built the biggest school? We cannot continue with the situation where the ANC has this particular image. And I think it's important that we tell abantu abadala ngoba bakhona ukuthi as young people sizimisele, and we still want our 40% waleyo mpahla. And we are not asking, we are telling you. We want to say that we are inspired by the leadership of President Mandela and President Oliver Tambo. There is a very important difference between them and us. Comrade President Oliver Tambo, no Comrade Mandela, no Comrade Sisulu, when they had a problem with the African National Congress, they went there and ensured that the leader who does not agree with the views and interests of young people, they change that person. But today we're dealing with an ANC Youth League. When the ANC does not like the convener or president of the Youth League, it is them who change us instead. And we're saying it is enough. The Youth League is a body of opinion in the ANC. It is not the ANC that is a body of opinion in the Youth League. And we must be frank with you, Uguti. If you are going to continue meddling with politics of young people, we will intensify, and instead of 40%, we will now say 100%. Ningasai bantabasha, ifile lento siyayifuna. And Yazin, I didn't get to do this. I told you that you look beautiful, but You didn't tell me that I look beautiful. Can I please get a round of applause? I mean, come on, come on. Eh? President umamba Tabile solo wangijwayela ngesikipa sika Khongolo sesiyelwa. Bekangangiboni nje eminyango ukuthi hayi naku uvice president usegcoka ibow tie usemuhle phambi kwabanye abantu. And I must say thank you very much Comrade Thuthukile Zuma. Can you please stand up so the people can see you? Just don't be shy. I told you I'm going to be controversial. That young woman standing there, that is not the daughter of President Zuma. And that is not the daughter of Mam Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma. That is Comrade Thuthukile Zuma. Do you understand that? It's very important. It is in our meetings where we discuss her parents daily. The endurance that she has and the patience that she has for comrades. I would have long left this movement if you had to talk about my parents in that fashion. And for her to be sitting here, and for it to be her who organized us into this room, I mean, she deserves her own round of a special one. Tichi! Aizwagale. Comrades, please don't clap like your suit. Yeah, suit yako like it's no. Can we clap like we're guerrillas? Like we're people who are going to take the African National Congress to its Congress? I want to reflect a bit on Comrade Thuthukile. This is a comrade who on many occasions, I have seen her turn down opportunities because of the stigma that is attached to her surname. In fact, for her to avail herself to be Treasurer General, we had to force her because she has went through so much traumatic experience that she does not believe at times that she is capable. And she is quite brilliant. And I want to tell you in front of everybody, even that gentleman that is talking to you on the side of your ear, that you are a brilliant young comrade, and we are proud that you have been brought and you are in this movement. It is people like you that we are inspired by. There are many presidents and ministers who have kids who are of a youth league age. But those kids are sent abroad. Those kids are sent to study in fancy schools. When we're doing door-to-door, they are not there. I must tell you that Comrade Tutu is there when we're doing door-to-door. She is there when we have to answer difficult questions. And without further ado, I must invite Comrade Tutu. I don't know if you are shy. Are you shy? Yabasababantu. Could you please clap for the last time for Comrade Tutu as she comes? What is the purpose of the day? Amandla! Awe two.
Amandla! Awethu! Viva ANC, viva! Viva African National Congress, viva! Tata ANC, tata! Pata ANC, pata! Malibongwe! Igama lamakhosikazi! Happy birthday, ANC Youth League. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, ANC Youth League. Happy birthday. Ngibonge kakhulu umphathi wohlelo abaphathi uComrade Usizophila noComrade Khulekani. I wish to greet leadership ye-ANC ekhona who took their time off their very busy schedule in the most hectic month of the year as we work towards the 1st of November to deliver a decisive victory for the African National Congress. NEC members of the ANC present today, PEC members of the ANC present today, different regional leaders of the ANC present today, and leadership of the ANC in general. I'd like to greet our convener of the NCPC, Comrade Unongeba,
as well as the coordinator, Comrade Joy. Malibongwe! Igama lamakhosikazi. I'd like to greet the leadership of the Women's League, Comrade Umama Ubatabile Dlamini, in her other capacity, as well as the leadership of the PYA present with us today, from COSAS, SASCO to YCL. Sbonge that you took your time to be with us and support us in our mission to rebuild the African National Congress Youth League. I would like to acknowledge business people who took from their sense to donate to the cause of the African National Congress Youth League and who were brave enough to be present in the room as they were doing so. I would like to greet you all. I'd like to greet NCPC members, PCPC members, RCPC members, branch members, but see, EPCPC, pss, pss. So, I would like to greet everyone, mayors, MECs, the premier, ministers, deputy ministers, Ngabashongo, Unomnoto has covered me, including herself. She's covered greeting herself as well. So I'd like to greet everybody who has joined us today. Mine is very simple. I am just here to explain the purpose of the event. As everyone would know, in March, the ANC appointed a ANC Youth League NCPC, which is a National Congress Preparatory Committee. It's a committee whose sole responsibility, okay, not sole, but whose fundamental responsibility is to take the ANC Youth League to a Congress. And so we were appointed under the leadership of Comrade Nongeba Mhlawuli, the convener of the NCPC, and we are in that mission. When we were appointed, unfortunately, the ANC Youth League was liquidated for the second time. So we found an ANC Youth League in liquidation, and through the leadership of Comrade Convener, Comrade Nongeba, we were able to get that liquidation order rescinded, and we are now in the business of trying to make the ANC Youth League financially stable and sustainable. That is what brings us here today. So when we call you all here, we understand the difficult conditions that progressive business people are operating on, more especially with COVID-19. And we want to say COVID-19, number one, but also the Party Political Funding Act, number two. We want to speak about these things because it's not easy to raise money in the name of a political formation in 2021. And it is new terrain for everybody that we are walking. And so we are so grateful for all of you who've decided that in spite of all the challenges and the risks associated with funding political parties, all of them, you have, in spite of that, funded the African National Congress Youth League because you believe fundamentally in the National Democratic Society that the ANC is leading us towards. And we want to thank all of you for doing that without fear or favor. And we want to say we apologize for starting late and all the glitches that were there, including date changes. It's been a very long time since we've had a youth league that has occupied a space in society that is significant. Under the leadership of Comrade Nongeba and Comrade Joy, the Youth League is beginning to reclaim its rightful place in society as we march towards the National Democratic Society. And so we want to thank you for your patience, for your cooperation, and we want to say we're here, ngoba asina mali, njenge ANC Youth League. Ayiko, asina assets, asina mali, asina lutho. Injalo coordinator, injalo convener, nani niyazi, silwa zonke insuku ngoba sina mali. Sifuna ukwenza ama program, kodwa sihluleke ngoba amandla ethu are limited. So let's be proactive. Let's not wallow in the difficulties and the challenges. Let's be proactive in getting progressive business under one roof, not only so that they can fund us directly, sibonge labo abathenga amatafula, nama seeds, and abadonatile in kind for this event to be able to take place. But let's bring them together so that we can start to begin to know the progressive young business, black business, and progressive business that is out there in our country. who are willing to walk the tireless and difficult journey with us as the African National Congress Youth League. So it's a lot about fundraising because we don't have money, but it's also a lot about getting progressive business under one roof. Stella ningakhathali, sisazonoka futhi siye enkomfeni, by the way. And namankomfa ngeke sikwazi ukwenza hybrid. Or ngeke sikwazi ukuyenza virtually. iZoom ngeke isebenze enkomfeni. The best we can do is a hybrid conference. So we're still going to come and knock on doors to assist so that the ANC Youth League can take its rightful place and rally young people behind the banner of the African National Congress, but more especially champion their interests. So that is why we are here today. We're here to fundraise, fundraise, fundraise. Please take out your wallets, be generous, be patient, and be giving today. That's all that we ask of you. And be patient with us as we begin to find our feet. Sibonge kakhulu, ngibonge ne-support engitholayo ku-convener no-coordinator we-NCPC ukuthi sikwazi sonke to put all our efforts together and our heads together under their leadership to try and make sure that we do justice to the mammoth task that faces us, which is rebuilding the ANC Youth League. Ngibonge nonke, please be generous. Please be kind, please eat, be merry, dance, enjoy yourselves. It is a function of the ANC Youth League after all. It's very youthful. So yeah, besicela nje ni relax, sibonge kakhulu. Siyabonga.
Ihaiti ke thuthu. Iyala. Thank you very much, TG siyabonga kakhulu. Wayeshilo ke comrades umsizi Dube. Wathi asinamali. So we're here today, like Comrade Tutu has said, because we don't have money. But maybe just to say a few things before we call our next speaker. To say the ANC Youth League is really coming out from a really bad place where when you do media interviews, you'll be told that ANC Youth League died with Julius. It's no longer there. And it's been very difficult to try and bring the ANC Youth League to what it is now. It has been difficult. Comrade Nongeba and Comrade Joy can attest to this. It's been difficult. It was difficult for the African National Congress to appoint us. There were leaked lists. There were leaked conversations of the NEC until we were appointed. And when we got appointed, even ourselves, we sat in different corners. It's been difficult. But one thing that has put us together, and that is why you see all of us who are here today, it's because we understood the task in our hands, which is the task of rebuilding the ANC Youth League. We can't afford to fail the ANC Youth League. The ANC Youth League, as it celebrates 77 years this month, maybe we must say this, and elders are going to forgive me. I know I'm known for being controversial. I will just really request elders not to be too harsh to me this time around. I can't. I want to take you back to why and when was the ANC Youth League formed. The ANC Youth League was formed by members of the ANC who were younger, but who felt that ama elders adlala ngalento. They say the apartheid government is killing our people. You are writing petitions. The apartheid government is taking our people to jail, and you are writing petitions. You are not responding to the language, according to the language that is understood by the apartheid government. Niyadlala. Now young people are saying you are all going to perish if you do not speak the language that is understood by these white people. And by saying these white people, I'm not being racist. it is what elders of the ANC taught us, that white people killed our people during apartheid times. I'm not being racist. I'm saying what I have been told by my elders of the ANC. They even have songs they sing in their conferences about how white people killed our people. So I can't all of a sudden be racist. The reason I'm taking you back to why the ANC Youth League was formed, it's because, and I say it in front of the leadership of the ANC today, that not all is well in the African National Congress today. And this generation that is here today, I saw the convener of Northwest is also here with us today of the Youth League. Siyabonga, Comrade Convener. This generation must be the generation that is exactly like the generation of Anton Lembede, that was led by Anton Lembede. A generation that says, as much as not all is well in the African National Congress, but we have no other home. Our home is the African National Congress, and all that we can do is to fix the African National Congress. And in fixing the African National Congress, we are going to present a program of action of young people, because every revolution in every world is led by young people. When we say we want 40%, we're not playing, and we're not going to play. Sibonile nisrobile comrades 25%. Yeah, they robbed us. There was a heist there, a serious heist in PR councillors. But we're saying those that have made it there, we demand that they be mayors and executives, those young people there. It does not make any sense. It does not make any sense that we can continue to allow to be led by comrades who every Sunday when you read newspapers, they are insulting each other. We can't have that kind of leadership. And because abanye babo comrades, we even involve ourselves in these fights. You put them as your profile pictures on Facebook. All of us, let me include myself. We have corners of these factions. But I want to tell young people today that none of those factions of the ANC take young people serious. Therefore, we must create a faction of young people that is going to take over in the African National Congress. Ingadlali ngalento. We have no reason whatsoever to fight. There is no reason to fight. Some are probably fighting over a girlfriend they got there in exile, and we were not there. We don't know where this fight emanates from. Or boyfriends. We don't know where this fight emanates from, but we find ourselves in between these fights. You even say, "Hayi mina ngumuntu kamam Nkosazana." You even say, "Hayi mina ngumuntu kamam Batha." When Mamba and Mam Nkosazana are fighting, you identify yourself as a person of, no, you're a person of yourself and of your generation. We're not going to reach economic freedom in our lifetime if we're going to continue to allow to be divided by the elders. Let us rise, let us unite as young people, and let us march to economic freedom in our lifetime. I am now going to call a lady. Yo. Says crush yaki. I'm going to call a lady who is not just an artist, but she's a revolutionary artist. She's not just an artist. It's not an munye pes go munye type of a thing, but it's a revolutionary artist that is with us today. A very young woman amongst us today who's going to give us song, and then we can continue with our program. I hope your starters are very nice. Comrade Thulisa lapho ngiyathemba ukuthi uyazama Nkosi yami. Siyazi comrades nijwayele KFC nezinkwe ezibrown ku door to door. But it's very good to see you like this, Comrade Rasta. Ungafakanga iskippa sombutho. It's very good. You comrades, you really look good, man Kezile. You really You really look beautiful, man Kezile. Sis Konai, please come on stage. Where are you? Where is Konai? If she's not here, we're going to pass. While she's coming, give it. Where is she? And where's your crush?
Crush yam uyabizwa uphi? Ngigezele wena namhlanje uphi?
Can I? Oh, maybe just to mention, there is also Comrade Dunga here, the SG of COSAS. I hope I'm not going to be accused of many things. Hey, COSAS has many things. Comrade Dunga, you're recognized. We hear that there's also leadership of YCLSA that is also around here. Hopefully, Umava Beolando Konai. Okay, she is coming. Yo, I said that very bad. Can I? Yo, uhamba nabo V. Abo Chabu. Chabu is wearing a suit. Those who know Chabu, he never wears suit. And V is even wearing shades. It's not that sunny. But the future is bright, we understand. There is Kanai, she's coming. Can we all rise and clap hands for Kanai? Konaye. Konaye. Oh, yes.
Sanbonani. Molweni. Molweni. Igama ngukhonaye. It means also with us. So I'm glad today to be also with you. I'm raised by a mother who doesn't like giving titles, but likes giving respect. So umbuliso wam is molweni kwabazali, komama no dada, obhuti no sisi. I feel that when you respect a mother, you must say mother. When you respect a father, you must say father. When you respect a brother, you must say brother. Yeah. I'm grateful that I am able to be here today. Tell my people I love them. They must continue to fight. Tell my people I love them. They must continue to fight. My blood will nourish the tree that will bear the fruits of freedom. ukhethekile wona umphefumulo wami yiphi kanti lenkululeko lisawuthi ngeli themba lami xa ndiphakamisa amehlo wami andisawabona amaqhawe andisawabona amaqhawe 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 mina abaphethe isizwe vulani umthombo wemfundo namanzi banxaniwe abantu bami mina abaphethe isizwe vulani umthombo wemfundo namanzi banxaniwe abantu bami mina abaphethe isizwe vulani umthombo wemfundo namanzi banxaniwe abantu bami mina abaphethe isizwe vulani umthombo wemfundo namanzi banxaniwe abantu bami aphelile amakhawu amkile amakhawu siyawakhumbula amakhawu siyawakhumbula amakhawu Solomon Mahlangu ulikhawe lamakhawu Solomon Mahlangu ulikhawe lamakhawu wena Chris Hani ulikhawe lamakhawu tiyetsi mishinini ulikhawe lamakhawu lihlahla madiba ulikhawe lamakhawu Albert Lutuli ulikhawe lamakhawu Soldaji ulikhawe lamakhawu Mama Winnie Mandela ulikhawe lamakhawu Solomon Mahlangu ulikhawe lamakhawu Solomon Mahlangu ulikhawe lamakhawu Solomon Mahlangu ulikhawe lamakhawu That was Solomon Mahlangu, a tribute to Amaqhawe ethu. The next song is called Welani. It means crossover. Crossover a river, crossover a road, crossover. Welani, welani, welani. komlambo ayandiphiza phesheya komlambo ayandiphiza phesheya komlambo phesheya komlambo phesheya komlambo ayandiphiza phesheya komlambo ayandiphiza phesheya komlambo phesheya komlambo phesheya komlambo elela ngapheshe elela ngapheshe elela ngapheshe elela ngapheshe elela ngapheshe elela ngapheshe ya elela ngapheshe elela ngapheshe elela ngapheshe elela ngapheshe ya elela ngapheshe elela ngapheshe ya elela ngapheshe elela ngapheshe ya elela ngapheshe welela ngapheshe ya komlambo elela ngapheshe welela ngapheshe ya welela ngapheshe welela ngapheshe ya welela ngapheshe welela ngapheshe ya welela ngapheshe ya welela ngapheshe ya komlambo ayandiphiza phesheya komlambo ayandiphiza phesheya komlambo phesheya komlambo phesheya komlambo ayandiphiza phesheya komlambo ayandiphiza phesheya komlambo phesheya komlambo phesheya komlambo welani welani Pesha komlambo, welelanga 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 That was Welani. Are you removing me off the stage now? Should I continue? Oh no. Okay. So as African children, we derive from different places. We learn from different people. I learned music because of my mother who loved to sing. And I learned the likes of Oma Miriam Makeba. I learned a lot from my mother. And I see in color and I dream music. So when I heard this song that I'm going to sing now, it was like, oh, that's nice. What can we do with it? And I was young back then and it stuck with me until last year when it came together. So I hope you enjoy.
Mama, batindlela ibuzwa kumhambi bayakhuzo mama, batindlela ibuzwa kumhambi. Igqirha lendlela kuthiwa nguqongqothweni, igqirha lendlela kuthiwa nguqongqothweni, igqirha lendlela kuthiwa nguqongqothweni, igqirha lendlela buzwa kumhambi bayakhuza mama bathi indlela ibuzwa kumhambi bayakhuza mama bathi indlela ibuzwa kumhambi bayakhuza mama bathi indlela ibuzwa kumhambi iyo 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 iyo
I have a request. Bengicela ukuhlupha mama. Can I dance with you? Can I dance with you? Can I dance with you? Ngiyacela ma. Can I dance with you?
igqirha lendlela kuthiwa nguqongqothwane igqirha lendlela kuthiwa nguqongqothwane igqirha lendlela kuthiwa nguqongqothwane igqirha lendlela kuthiwa nguqongqothwane iyo 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 iyo
Look, if they don't give you money today, they never will give you money. I mean, who makes Umama dance? I feel like just for that, you know, the checkbooks must come out and the money must be given because Umama, you know. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy your night. I'll see you again for round 2.
No, mama. Yeah, am I doing it right? Yo, mama. Yo, mama. Woo! Asimshayeleni izandla usisi wethu omuhle ocula kahle onephimbo elihle usisi Khonaya. Asimshayeleni izandla guys. Okay, thank you so much. Also, when you are busy engaging in the starters, etc., please take some time to go on Twitter and make young people aware and the world and South Africa that we're here. And Comrade Kheti, what is the hashtag? ANC Youth League Gala. That is our Comrade Kheti there. We are almost there, convener. This gathering is about to trend on Twitter. And I think we should clap hands for ourselves, you know. The young people in the ANC usually trend for other things. And for the first time, we are trending for the right reasons. Thank you very much, Kheti. We know your tricks on the side. Yes. I think that was a very beautiful performance. I especially liked the first song. That is a tribute to Comrade, to Solomon Mahlangu, who passed on at the age 22. And very key to the message I received from Solomon Mahlangu is that he was trained to fight the battle of an AK-47. He never knew that he will have to fight a legal battle of the laws of South Africa when he got back into the country. Comrades, ngicela manisaxoxa ngicela nithi kanje kancane nje ngoba i-moment ebalulekile le. I would kindly invite you guys to stand, please. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for standing. Ngixolise abantu abadala ngokunisukumisa bandla. Kodwa ke lo muntu engimi-introduceayo umongameli wethu abantu abasha. And this standing up is a symbol that all together, abantu abadala nabantu abasha, we are standing up and we're saying, enough is enough. We're tired of task teams in the ANC Youth League. We want the leadership of young people to be elected. And in all the difficulties that we have went through, it is this young lady, this young woman, this young leader, this young general who has steered us, who has marshaled us. When we fight, when we tussle and turn in the NYTT, she will take the hammer and say, no, Kulegani, we are going to proceed. If it is not for the impeccable leadership of Comrade Noneba Mhlauli, we would not be sitting here today. If it is not the impeccable leadership of Comrade Noneba and the tolerance, because I remember many times, Comrade Convener, where I was very angry with you in meetings. Who put this young girl here? What is she doing? Where are we going? But today, after some time, I can see with my own eyes that you had a vision. As our leader, when we refuse to be led by you, because as men and as patriarchs like myself, it is difficult for us to put ourselves under a woman. And you have taught us that no matter how much we can accuse you, you are going to lead us whether we like it or not. And for that, I would really want you to get an astounding round of applause. Even tomorrow, Comrade Noneba, I will disagree with you in the meeting. But it does not mean I'm not inspired. I take a lot of inspiration. You did not walk away. There are no parallel structures. What you have done, you and Comrade Joy, Ishule Abantabaning, and moreover, even NEC members of the ANC could not do what you have done as the convener of the Youth League. And lastly, because Guti was saying speech as a program director, see again, this is our moment to please, man. It's our moment. Yeah? Lastly, Comrade Noneba, as I address you directly, when the ANC Youth League was formed in 1994, when we read the books, we are told that it is only Comrade Albertina, what? Counting 10 minutes. No, 1944. What did I say? I said 1904. Oh, Cholo. I was saying, Comrade Convener, as I address you directly, because abantu abadala bazongishaya, please treasure this moment. Because for us, you will go down in the books of history, particularly you as the convener. When this organization was formed, you know, it is something they tell us all the time, that it is only Mam Albertina Sisulu who was a young woman in the formation of the ANC Youth League. And wherever she is ecstatically proud of you to say that at the beginning, women were just an addition, just to add color, you know, spice, so that Tiwan. But today, in 2021, we are led by a revolutionary. When we say Imbogoto, this is what we mean. And no matter what we say, you have done an excellent job. And for the ANC Youth League, that has had men leading it for so many generations since its formation, you've really taken the bar too high. Even Julius could not imagine leading young people in the manner that you are leading them, because he was buying them with 100 rands and whatever. But you are not buying anybody's face. You are not begging anybody. And with those few words, comrades, can we really, really take the the claps. Can your hands be raised as you clap for the convener and president of young people in South Africa? Amandla! Wathinta abafazi! Wathinta imbokodo!
Asoze aphela mandla asoze malibongwe good evening to the leadership of the NYTT. I'll start with Khulekani as the host, as the MC, with all of his drama and a very dramatic introduction. Please disregard everything he said. And Comrade Sizo as our co-host here today. I'd like to greet the leadership of the ANC, NEC, the leadership of the ANC Women's League that is here today, the leadership of the province of the ANC, the province of the Youth League. I saw leadership of the regions, various regions of the Youth League and that of the ANC as well. Leadership of the PYA, all dignitaries, comrades, and most importantly, all the beautiful young people gathered here today. And a special greetings to Comrade Tutu, who was able to successfully get us to get out of our tights and leggings, got us into dresses, something we haven't worn since we were appointed, got us into heels. By the way, my feet are killing me, but my feet are killing me, but thank you. Greetings, comrades. And I think I'll start really where Comrade Khulekani, minus the drama, started. To say that, when we were appointed as the NYTT about 5 months ago, in fact, technically our term of office is coming to an end. So, Stalanja, my NEC member, Wetala, to just remember that in the next NEC meeting. To the NEC members who are here, please remember we need an extension in the next NEC meeting. Comrades, when we were appointed, I remember it was about 5 to 6 months ago. A lot of people really said, Uguti, yeah, that's the recipe for disaster. There were like 2 young women, 21 women from different factions, different corners, don't. And people really, really couldn't wait for us to fall apart. There were people who never thought we could get to a night like this here today, where we are actually actively raising money for our conference. And I really think that beyond everything else, as the NYTT, we are tremendously proud of the work that we've done in the last 6 months, and tonight being a success. And thank you, Comrade Tutu and your team for bringing us here today. It really demonstrates that this NYTT really, really, really is on the right track in reviving and making the ANC Youth League rise. So can I just have a round of applause for the NYTT? And really, comrades, I think, so coming here today, we thought we were going to raise money, and I hope that we are going to raise a lot of money, and I hope that you brought your checkbooks. But beyond that, it's a beautiful evening for celebrating and recognizing the work that we are trying to do as an interim structure in reviving this organization. So, comrades, from the inception of the ANC Youth League, from the beginning, in fact, of our movement, the young people have really always been at the forefront of conceiving ideas that will put society onto a different trajectory. The formation of the ANC itself, the idea that what was happening in the early
early 1900s, was really an idea that was conceived by young people at the time. Beyond that, the different stages in which our movement has taken through the formation of the ANC Youth League, its program of action, the Freedom Charter, moving even beyond that, all of those different phases were phases that were led by young people, because young people have always been a strata that breathes new life, not only into the ANC, but also into society. So when we said as young people that nothing about us without us, it wasn't because we were being self-interested or self-righteous or inward-looking. It was because we understood the very important role that youth play in the development of a country, in the furtherance of a struggle, and in the advancement of society. So when we said, as members of the Youth League, that the Youth League belongs to members of the Youth League, it was precisely because we understood the importance of this organization in ensuring that we advance towards the national democratic revolution. So where are we today, comrades? And in fact, since 1994, we've seen the various interventions that have been led by young people that have really propelled our society to move forward. From your formation or the crafting of your RDP documents, you're ready to govern. In fact, in the mid-90s, it was the Youth League of our comrade Gala and our comrade Malusi that led campaigns around your HIV and AIDS. It was the Youth League of our comrade Edna, that led, the different discussions around the formation of a one-stop shop for youth development, which is your NYDA. You then move forward. It was the Youth League of the 2012 generation that led the discussions around, Comrade Masondo were part of that Youth League, that led discussions around the 7 pillars that today, most of them have become ANC policy. So you really have a body of evidence throughout the formation of the liberation movement, our struggle, our democratic project, and its advancement that really prove that young people have always been at the forefront of the advancement of society. Now, as this NYTT, we then said when we came into office, we asked ourselves, if we are to rebuild an ANC Youth League in 2021, what do we do? Having all of this experience, having all of this, knowledge, having all of this wealth of a body politic that has really been developed and championed over time by the ANC Youth League, what becomes the content of our renewal project? So what we've done as the NYTT, we said we want to do 5 things. You would have seen a banner outside that speaks about the 5 R's. We said the first thing that we want to do is we want to rebuild the Youth League. But what does rebuilding the Youth League mean? Rebuilding the Youth League means that you are reinstating or reclaiming, rather, its autonomy. Because the reason that the Youth League is an organization that it is precisely because of its autonomy. So we said the first thing that you have to do as an interim structure, and it's unfortunate that we have an organization right now that is led by interim structures from top to bottom, and we also said that it should be the very last time that young people are not afforded an opportunity to elect their own leadership. We are all here today sitting in different structures because we've been appointed. But our task, all of us, is to allow young people the opportunity to reclaim their organization in a national congress, in a provincial congress, the regional congress, and in various branch congresses. So we said the first thing that we have to do is we have to reclaim the autonomy of the Youth League. Now, reclaiming the autonomy of the Youth League means that we have to first and foremost serve the interest of young people beyond anything else, beyond whatever cliques that might have brought us together, beyond whatever conceptions that we would have had, beyond the fears that the leadership of the ANC and the elders instill in us to say we're going to disband you if you don't listen to us. It is our responsibility and it's our primary mission to ensure that this organization is one that primarily champions and serves the interest of young people in this country through reclaiming its autonomy. 2, comrades, we said we have to revive the Youth League. But what does reviving the Youth League mean? It means that you have to breathe new life into the structures of the Youth League. The Youth League currently has no legitimate structures. And we say currently because we're going to start our AGMs and obviously then local government elections happen, so we had to pause. But part of what an organ is, when you define an organ. An organ is an organization that has a basic unit. And that basic unit of an organ is a branch. Now, we said that we have to have legitimate, credible structures of the Youth League. Now, a lot of people talk about how the Youth League of Comrade President Malema was the best youth league ever. And maybe it was in terms of a macro policy level. But what was the organizational makeup of the organization? Because if the Youth League was so strong during that time, it shouldn't have collapsed when its president left. The fact that the Youth League collapsed when its president left shows the weaknesses in the organization itself, in the organ. It shows that there was a national leadership that was championing policy, but there was no organ, there was no organizational structure. There were no legitimate, credible structures that could withstand a leader being expelled. Because if an organization has credible structures, it should be able to withstand a disbandment of an NEC. So what we said is that what we have to do is we must therefore be able to have credible, legitimate structures, which is why, as the NYT, we took a very unpopular decision to dissolve illegitimate and unconstitutional structures. We were insulted left, right, and center. We were told, in fact, there was one province that said that we are behaving like criminals, we are trigger happy, we just want to come and dissolve and disband everyone and all of those things. The coordinator and I were told that now we are running a cult, we just sit in our rooms, come with resolutions and go to a meeting and implement them and all of those things. But the vision behind that, comrades, was that if you are going to restore legitimacy of an organization, it must be consistent with its constitution. An organization that is not consistent with its constitution is not an organization. And we said where we start is to restore constitutionality. Restoring constitutionality means that structures of the Youth League must be led by members of the Youth League. That's the first basic restoration of the constitutionality of an organization in an attempt to revive it. And that is the process that we are currently under. And we hope that the regions and the provinces that are here are going to, as of the 2nd of November, really start the process of launching branches, because without branches, there's no organization, comrades. We can sit here, have nice dinners and all of those things, but without a basic unit that is functional, that is credible, and that is operational, we do not have an organization. The third thing, comrades, is that we must renew the organization. Now, what does renewing mean? Renewing means that you go back to what your primary objective is, which is to be a campaigning organization that campaigns and champions the interest of young people. Now, what we've had so far, you've really had an organization where we exist for ourselves. We really exist for ourselves. We exist as cliques, little cliques here and there, where we come together, we speak about ourselves, to ourselves, for ourselves. Thereafter, we say, we clap hands, we say we've had a program, when we have not actually resolved a single problem of young people in society. Now, if we are supposed to be, if our two strategic objectives are, which is our twin task, to champion the interests of young people and rally them behind the banner of the ANC. And young people are, one, not members of the Youth League, or we're not championing the interests. Two, they're not voting for the ANC, not members of the ANC. Then we failed in our primary objective, in our primary mission, which is those particular twin tasks. So we said that's the third thing, comrades, that we have to do. The fourth one, comrades, is that we need to reposition the ANC Youth League. Now, part of repositioning means that you must have an ANC Youth League that is going to be able to, at a technical level, intervene in the body politics of South Africa, beyond slogans. We can't be a youth league of slogans, comrades. In 2021, we must be a youth league of, if there is a problem, we come there with a solution and a viable one. Not something that is an airy-fairy thing, but something that says, Bana, if there's a problem X in Ward X, the youth league must come with an appropriate, ideologically sound, technical intervention that is going to be able to solve that problem, because that is how your views gain hegemony in society. And that's how we said we want to reposition the Youth League to be one that really, in its truest form, provides leadership to young people of this country. Lastly, comrades, we said we must be able to reimagine the ANC Youth League. And I think what's happening here today is part of that. The fact that we can come here, wear beautiful dresses, speak politics, make money as well. Of course, primarily we're here to make money, comrades. Make money as well. But also we need to start sounding and looking like a youth league that will represent a young person in 2021. It doesn't make sense for us to come here and speak, about, try to emulate Comrade Thabo Mbeki and Comrade Mandela or Comrade Jacob Zuma or all the other former presidents of the ANC that young people are not able to relate to. We need to find a language that young people relate to. We need to have a look and feel that when a young person sees a Kulegani, a young person should see someone that they want to be like. They must see someone that really represents an organization that they would want to form a part of in 2021. So a part of that means that we need to speak to young people and ask them what do they want. Right now, the other day, we had a Twitter space for the first time where we actually had about 600 plus young people who were really engaged. And the beauty about that session was that it was not members of the youth league we were speaking to. We were speaking to general young people in society who really said to us, we want to know more about what this organization is about. These are the ideas we have. These are the things that have made us despondent to joining this organization. These are the concerns we have with the ANC. And that's part of reimagining the youth league, to really go to young people and say, instead of us having a rally, and that's what we decided, to say, what is more impactful? Is it having a rally where we speak to ourselves, we distribute T-shirts, we sing songs, or is it more impactful for us to have a Twitter space? We send out the link, we get young people to join the link, and we really speak to young people. So that's part of the reimagining of the Youth League. For June 16, for an example, we had a discussion to say, how do we celebrate June 16? What do? We said, let's have a dialogue. Instead of a rally, let's have a dialogue. Let's understand problems of young people. Let's bring young people in a room where we together collectively also try to resolve the issues of young people. Let's have a discussion about it. Let's come up with ideas on what ought to happen. And it was a very successful program. So really, these are the 5 things that we said ought to form the basis of what becomes the renewal agenda of the ANC Youth League. Now, of course, we currently stand here knowing very well that we are going to local government elections in a couple of weeks. When we spoke the other day, we said, I think it was Comrade Sizo who mentioned, no sitsotsiwe, and no ngempela sitsotsiwe phakula ANC. And no sitsotsiwe. In fact, there's one comrade in the NYTT who always refers to the term komtsotsis. And we must say, any sitsotsile kula process. Develop president, is it at least 25% of the list is young people. And I was like, But really, comrades, we've said as the ANC Youth League that with all the dissatisfaction that we have, this is our organization. This ANC is ours, belongs to us. And it is in our interest to ensure that we deliver a decisive victory for the ANC. It's in our interest. It's in our interest that we deliver a decisive victory for the ANC. It's in our interest to rebuild our organization. It's in our interest to ensure that young people join our organization. It's in our interest to ensure that we champion the interest of young people and to ensure that the ANC is able to live another 109 years. But we said, with this understanding that it is in our objective interest to continue to champion and rally young people behind the banner of the ANC. There are 3 things, comrades, that we said to the ANC we are not going to negotiate with on them. We said there are 3 things that we want, that every time we engage them, so buzuguti into ethile iyenzekile, into ethile iyenzekile, into ethile iyenzekile. And if izinto azenzekanga, we said we are ready to go to the bush, comrades. And we repeat that here today, that we have 3 non-negotiables that we are very ready to, as young people, to go to the bush for. The first one, comrades, we said, 1, we want to have at least 100. And when you say, someone asked about, but how is that scientific? Because maybe you might not even get 100 municipalities. We said, we are going to ensure that the ANC wins all municipalities. And out of the ANC having won all municipalities, we want 100 that goes to young people as mayors, as speakers, as MMCs, and so on and so forth. 2, comrades, we said, as part of, and I'm very happy that the Minister of COGTA is here, we also said that 2, as part of a precondition for the approval of budgets in councils, they must represent 1, youth empowerment, Two, they must have a gender, a focus on implementing gender parity in those local councils. We said that must be a precondition. So that therefore means, comrades, that it must become part of the policy for local government. There are MPs here, Comrade Colin, I'm not sure which, oh, he's not in Cocktail, he's in another another portfolio committee. But we said, comrades, we want to, at a policy level, champion that and advocate for it, that it becomes a precondition. Three, comrades, we said skills and capacity must be at the forefront of deployments. Can no longer be about the fact that you're a branch chairperson. Can't be. The problems that we face right now at local government need energy, they need intervention, they need innovation, they need expertise. So we said, before anything else, before you are a branch chairperson of the ANC, we want to know what are your skills, what capacity you have, and what ability do you have to be able to make a decisive intervention in the very complex problems that we face at local government level. And those three things, comrades, we said, those are our three non-negotiables going into these local government elections. So we pledged to the ANC on Monday that we started campaigning for the ANC when the ANC was still busy sorting out its list. Now we are on the ground campaigning. We did not need a manifesto launch to start work of campaigning. And we said we are committed to delivering the youth vote to the ANC, and we are going to do that, but we are going to do that with an understanding that these three things are things that we are really not going to be negotiating on. Lastly, comrades, as we've unpacked our program of action, which is the 5 Rs, where we are in terms of the work that we're doing for local government elections, we all know that running an organization is expensive. It's a very expensive exercise. Comrade Fundraiser said we've come out of liquidation twice. We have, when the ANC had issues with payment of salaries for staff, we had to make an intervention for comrades to work for the Youth League. So really, really, comrades, we are not exaggerating. We literally have no money. And the work that we've been able to do on a 0% budget has been absolutely incredible. But we can't operate like this. We cannot continue operating without money. Today is the first of many fundraising initiatives that we are going to undertake as the ANC Youth League. And we really, really plead with you to support us. Not just support us at a political and organizational level, but also at a financial level. We are very committed to raising funds for ourselves. In fact, we said one of the things that we have to encourage is we have to encourage a culture of members of the Youth League funding their own organization. But beyond that, we are really going to plead with everyone who's here today, beyond today. Ningadinwa City, we are here as members of the ANC Youth League. We are part of this preparatory school. We're obviously going to make mistakes, but we believe that with your support, we are really going to be able to deliver on the primary task that we've been given as an interim structure, which is to deliver a National Congress of the Youth League. So please open your checkbooks. If you have already opened them, thank you very much. If you haven't, please don't leave without having done it. And if you come here, eat our food and don't give us money. We are going to go to Twitter, name and shame. Ubani came to our fundraiser, ate our food, danced to our music, and didn't give us a cent. We are going to run a campaign against you. So, comrades, thank you very much. And we really rely on your support. Have a lovely evening. And siyabulela amandla.
Simshayeleni izandla, guys. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Comrade Convener. Siyabonga kakhulu. And I'll just brief that we are also live on all social media platforms of the ANC Youth League. I repeat the hashtag, it's hashtag ANCYL Gala. Gala which is Gala. ANCYL Gala. Please, siyacela sazisa abantu abasha out there, because not only are we fundraising in this hall, but we are also fundraising to those through or kulabo bangakwazanga ukufika in this venue. And to all our guests, please note that the bar is open and you are invited to ask the waiters to serve you what you want. It can be Coca-Cola, Pella comrades. I see others smiling. And truly, comrade convener, I must say that yourself and comrade Joy have done a wonderful job, because when we were appointed comrades, the Youth League membership was at a very staggering low number of about 150-ish thousand. And right now, even though we have not finished counting, I think we've fairly surpassed the 500,000 mark as new members of the ANC Youth League. Hi-bo. Julius couldn't do that. He couldn't go above 300,000, please. So, I want to say, especially to the former SG of the ANC Youth League, Uslalo, Ubab Gala, that through your leadership, the story of the butterfly makes sense. Because the ANC and the Youth League are the same, but they are quite different. And, it also goes to speak to the butterfly that although the caterpillar and the butterfly are different, but they are one and the same thing. And for us, seeing you in the position that you are, really helping our people, guarantees that for those who are volunteers of the ANC Youth League, who have a heart to help the people out there, the ANC is there for spade. And Siyabonga leadership, we see ourselves through you. The cadre that I'm going to introduce here, Skule Sonke, we grew up together. We used to squat in shacks, Otembisa, in Mdantsane, all over the country. At the same time, we'd have to go and write our exams. I'd remember we'd fight over, when we would have to share a bed, we'd have to fight over whose feet are smelling. And I can see today is a member of parliament. Utata di cologne smells nice. He's on TV all the time. But I still remember the president of COSAS, Lo Benkipan Bestosha Nayama principal. The president of COSAS, who led us so well that we're able to do so many things. I mean, we came with the concept of tablets in schools and people thought we were mad. We came with the concept of sanitary pads in schools, people thought we were mad. And so many things, Comrade Colin. And I must also tell the House that the name Comrade Colin is actually not your name. I don't know why you've accepted it, but you know Colin Besuma, Mus. There was a man called Collins Besuma. So for one reason or the other, young people thought this man can play like Colin Besuma. I've never seen it, but apparently he was a Collins Besuma. And the name has stuck with him for a long time. His name is Comrade Tlulukhelo, not Comrade Colin. And as I introduce you, I want to say that our leaders were able to study while they were imprisoned. These leaders that you are sitting next to, they were able to study while they were imprisoned. But the young people of today that the Youth League is leading, they are free, but they are refusing to go to school, or we are refusing to go to school, even though the ANC has provided free education. And to us young people who are excited that the bar is open, I want to say, not only do we have a right to education, but it's important that we understand that we have a duty. We've got a duty to be educated, comrades. And Comrade Colin is one such example. And I would like us to clap hands for him because he has been accepted as a student at the University of Sussex. That is exemplary leadership. Can we allow the Comrade President to come and speak to us on the question of nationalization of the Reserve Bank? And can we be brief? And while he's coming here, please make sure that you find the nearest waiter or waitress and order your Coke. Thank you very much. Comrade President.
Manja. 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 Viva President Peter Mukaba. Viva. Viva President Anton Lembete. Viva. Amandla. Uzoyithola kanjani? Hlele khoneni. Thank you very much, Comrade Khulekani Sikhosana from KwaNdebele, eSiyabuswa. We are also from the same areas. Comrades, leadership, the leadership of the ANC from different corners of the country, the leadership of the Progressive Youth Alliance, SASCO, the YCL, COSAS, and I see the leadership of the Young Women's Desk. Yesterday they were holding some box somewhere in Ekurhuleni. They said they want to sandbox every man that they see on the streets. The leadership of the ANC Youth League nationally, led by our convener, Comrade Nongeba and Comrade Joy. The leadership of the African National Congress, that is here of the province, led by the former SG of the ANC Youth League, who's the current premier here, Comrade Sihle Zigalala, the principal of a school that many don't attend, a school called the OR Tambo School of Leadership. A lot of comrades don't attend. The first time comrades started to register at the school, it's when they were told they can't be counselors without passing 3 modules. That is the first time they discovered that there's an OR Tambo School of Leadership. Comrade Dr. David Masondo, Mama Nkosazana, NWC member of the ANC, Mama Nkosazana, Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, Umama, Okhala Itolento Efunayo, 50% and above. In the women, it's no longer a slogan, it's a decision. In every structure, they know that 50% must be women. In the Youth League, we're still singing about it. In the ANC Women's League, they're living it. They want more now. I'm told they want 70 now. Now, Tina was still worried about 25%. Umama Obatabile Dlamini. Comrades, I mind today here, and all of those that are here, business people, I've made an analysis. I've seen that a lot of business people who are here, most of them are not the captains of the industry. It means those that have majority of our money are not here. Now we thank you for giving us your last money. Give more, because the more you give, is the more we go to conference of the ANC to influence decisions that benefit you. Because I know most of you are complaining that a lot has not changed. The money of this country is still in the hands of the minority. Now, the more you fund the Youth League, is the more we take over the ANC to implement resolutions of the ANC. Because part of the problems that we're faced with, because I know very well that mine here is to introduce Comrade David Masondo to come and speak about the nationalization of the Reserve Bank. But I felt that before I introduce Comrade Dr. David Masondo, I need to explain that one important thing that every organization must do for it to be respected. The first thing that the organization must do must respect its own constitution. When it's done respecting its own constitution, the second thing that it must do, it must respect its own resolutions. Immediately, an organization does not respect those two things, its constitution and its own resolutions, no one is going to follow that organization because the center is no longer holding. Now, I've been going through the resolutions of the ANC, from the 52nd conference to the 53rd to the 54th conference of the ANC. We always reaffirm the last resolutions, but we don't implement. Every resolution says we reaffirm the resolution of the 52nd conference. The third conference says we reaffirm the resolutions of the 53rd conference. The next conference says we reaffirm the resolutions of the 44th conference. Now, it's a problem because it's clear that we don't respect our own decisions in our own meetings. Now, how do we expect society to follow an organization that does not respect its own decisions? Now, I felt that when Comrade David comes here, the first thing before he even enters on the issue of the nationalization of the Reserve Bank must first explain what consequence management is in place when resolutions of the ANC are not implemented. Because all ANC members are still not charged, are still not suspended, they are still in office, but they don't implement their own resolutions. Now, how do we measure the capacity of what the NEC of the ANC is doing when they can't respect a document that guides them, a document that they represented? Now, that level of consequence management must happen, because an NEC of the ANC is also a resolution of the conference. Why do they call themselves leadership of the ANC? They call themselves presidents, SGs, and NEC members, but they can't implement parts of the resolutions that they are part of. Because if you don't respect the resolutions of the ANC, it means you yourself, you're not leadership because you are part of that resolution. Now, those are areas that I think when you start, we need to address. But the second issue that I think you need to address, because we might not have a platform to be with you again in this kind of a platform, is that what is delaying us to give full accreditation to the Post Bank? Because we have resolved that there are biggest monopolies in the financial sector that are clearly sidelining the black majority who have been excluded during apartheid, they are still excluded during democracy. Now, when we fully accredit the Post Bank, it's very clear that we can easily instruct all government entities, instruct everyone that does business government to go and bank with Post Bank. And when they do that, you are giving Post Bank a capacity to go and fund other black businesses and other businesses to move forward. Now, why are we not giving full accreditation to Post Bank? Another resolution that has been sold out that we need to get explanation around. The second issue, why are we complaining about high level of unemployment amongst young people when we've been identified as one of the countries that have got a lot of raw materials? Who are these raw materials assisting? Because the role of raw materials, first as a primary sector, is to make sure that there's a mining sector. It assists to boost the secondary sector, which are our industries. Because I saw as part of your thesis in the PhD, you are speaking about industrial policy. Now, how are we going to be able to revive our industries, which are our factories that are closing down? Germiston and many other areas are becoming ghost towns because our industries are closing down because they are no longer producing anything. Because these raw materials must move from being raw to secondary, from secondary to tertiary. Now, if you export over 80% of your raw materials, it means you are assisting countries that have no raw materials to create employment for their people and opportunity for their people. But when your own people are suffering on the ground, now, those are areas that I need you to address us on. Because I have a strong view that I want to sponsor, that we must not export more than 80% of our raw materials to any country. Anyone that wants our raw materials must come and get them here as secondary or tertiary. A lot of our brothers and sisters here, the first time they see a ring or a diamond is during engagement day. They've never seen a diamond apart from an engagement day. For them to see a gold in their hands, they must first be proposed or propose. But every day, they are affected by pollutions and industries. They are getting sick of TBs and many other diseases. But only people of Europe and the Queen and many others, they can see the raw gold. Now, our people have a right to say we're selling out. The issue of land, your term is even going to an end now. We have not resolved the land issue. Many of you are going around campaigning for second term, third term, fourth term, 8 terms. But you have not implemented a simple issue, what the ANC stands for, what the ANC was founded on those principles, the issue of land. When our people are dispositioned of their land, they are dispositioned of their identity. Because when you have no land, you have no dignity, you have no identity. Now it means that we are zombies here. We are moving zombies. We are like naked people moving around their own country when others are dressed up on our land. Now, that is another issue that you need to address when you address the issue. The state-owned company, to make sure that all of these issues we're discussing, they are well managed. I know KZN is a good example of having a Teller Bank and many other state-owned companies. Why can't we follow suit? because the state-owned company can be able to monitor and check if all of our investment, our industries are pulled back to the poor of the poorest. I guess the ANC was saying that we are biased to the working class and the poor of the poorest. We must do it practically. Now, the state-owned bank can be able to assist to monitor if the resources of our people benefit our people. Now, that is another issue that we must speak on. And I can assure you, Comrade Dr. David, if you address all of these issues, as I introduce you, if you address all of these issues, the ANC will not have to do door-to-doors, will not have to print T-shirts, will not have to do pamphlets, because our people will be totally liberated. Our people will not be part of the stats of poverty and high level of inequalities. And our people will see the work the ANC is doing, because our people will be their own drivers of their own economy. Because in any area or any country, when majority of the people are poor or are sidelined from their own economic activities of their own country, they are bound to revolt, they are bound to do wrong things, they are bound to be found in crime, they are bound to do all sorts of things that are supposed to do. But if you open up the economy of the country to the majority of the people to fully participate in the economy, I can assure you now that the National Democratic Revolution will be delivered and our people will arrive in heaven, which is the National Democratic Society. Comrades, let me introduce to you Comrade Dr. David Masondo, a PhD graduate in apartheid state and industrialization policy. Thank you very much, Comrade David. And comrades, will be allowed to ask questions, but you will not take more than 3 minutes. Ne? 3 minutes, you ask, sit down, 3 minutes. And if you are covered, don't be scared to say you are covered. We know there are cameras here. You all want to be seen holding a mic, but just say covered. Ne, comrades?
Amanda. Good evening, comrades, and all protocol observed. You know, when Comrade Tutu sent the invitation, she said, you're just coming here to enjoy dinner. In the morning, Tutu calls again and say, we'll also want you to join an intergenerational dialogue on the nationalization of the Reserve Bank. What choose the topic out of all the topics? So what I'm going to do, maybe the question that you posed, Comrade Colin, on why we are not implementing some of these decisions, I'll deal with that question as a last question, and I'll give my own views about it. So I've been asked to talk about the resolution of the ANC on the getting rid of the private owners in the Reserve Bank and make sure that the bank is 100% owned by the people of South Africa. And that resolution of the conference said that we should do it in such a manner that it doesn't benefit the shareholders who want to speculate out of the sale of those shares. So in my brief talk, I'm told I only have 10 minutes, but I've been asked a number of questions which will require us to spend more time. And I think Comrade Convener and Comrade Joy, Coordinator, and Comrade Nongeva, I think some of these things will require a dedicated session with the NEC. I don't think tonight it will be fair of me to go through all of them. I will mainly focus on just the Reserve Bank, as I've been asked to do. So in doing so, I'll restate what the conference resolution has said, and I've already stated what it said. And secondly, talk about the goal and the instrument independence of the Reserve Bank, because time and again, when we debate this issue, people throw in the independence of the Reserve Bank, and I think we need to be clear about what we mean about the independence of the Reserve Bank. And then lastly, thirdly, I'll talk about what I think we should do to implement that resolution of conference. And lastly, talk about the politics of resolution implementation, to basically try to think about why certain resolutions are not implemented at all, or the pace is slower. Now, like I said, the conference said, get rid of the private shareholders in the Reserve Bank and make sure that the bank is 100% owned by the people of South Africa, but do it in such a way that it doesn't benefit the shareholders. And already in the public, and some of the shareholders, they came out in public and lobbying seriously that they want to sell their shares to the state. And of course, a number of comrades were beginning to be critical on why will these shareholders want to sell voluntarily some of their shares, and actively participating in lobbying that these shares should be sold. And we continuously caution that, in line with the conference resolution, we should do it in such a manner that it does not benefit the shareholders who want to sell at exorbitant prices. Now, there are people who say, look, when you talk about the public ownership of the Reserve Bank, you are now going to infringe on its independence. In the monetary economics, independence has a special meaning. Monetary economists, they distinguish between goal independence of the Reserve Bank, or of a Reserve Bank, and the instrument independence. There's no Reserve Bank in the world that sets its own goals. It doesn't happen. A Reserve Bank can be a player and a referee at the same time. It is the state that sets the goals, economic goals of the Reserve Bank. In our case, the Constitution has articulated that the role of the Reserve Bank is to ensure price stability in the interest of balanced economic growth. So it is not the Reserve Bank that sets its own goal. It is up to the Reserve Bank on what kind of instruments they will use to make sure that there is price stability. And price stability is important because you don't want bread to be 2 rand today, tomorrow is 50 rand, and there's no price stability in the economy. Now, the instruments that the bank has to use, it's independent. They've got absolute right and decisions on which instrument they will use, either by increasing the repo rate or setting the repo rate, which is eventually becomes an interest rate, the amount that the bank charge, or there could be capital adequacy ratios in which they say to the bank, you've got to have X amount of money in your reserve. You don't borrow this money, and if your capital adequacy ratios are lower, they come in through the prudential authority and deal with it. So they do have different instruments. They can also buy government bonds, either in the primary market or in the secondary market. And we've seen how, during COVID, the Reserve Bank, they've exercised that instrument independence in buying bonds in the secondary market. So the issue about public ownership of the bank has nothing to do with the independence of the bank. And I think the delegates in the conference, when they were making this call or this decision, they were not saying we should infringe on the independence of the Reserve Bank. Now, the second issue, which is related to the mandate of the Reserve Bank, is about the duality of this mandate. So the bank can be given dual mandate, targeting employment as well as inflation. And that's why the conference, if I go back to the conference in 2007, the conference of the ANC said so, Mangaung also said so. And the issue around the dual mandate, there's nothing sinister about it. Even the banks such as the US, the Fed, they have a dual mandate. Australia, they also have a dual mandate. So there's nothing sinister about debating and discussing the dual mandate of the Reserve Bank. Now, and I must also indicate that in the context of high levels of employment, economic crisis that we are going through, it is natural that society will look at different institutions on how we should respond to this crisis that we are going through. So it should come as a natural outcome of what society is going through, that there will be focus on the monetary, on the Reserve Bank, the debate around the Reserve Bank, the debate around our fiscal policy. So in the early 2000s, this issue about the role of Reserve Bank was very dull, as it were, because the economy was relatively growing, but jobless growth, as we all know. But in the current context in which there's a lot of issues around our economy, you do see a huge focus now on the Reserve Bank, and part of the reason why there is this debate on the nationalization of the Reserve Bank. So you can nationalize the bank, but if you're going to keep the mandate as is, which is narrowly around inflation targeting, you may not be making serious fundamental changes insofar as this issue is concerned. So, and I must also indicate that, like I said, this issue around the duality of the mandate of the Reserve Bank is nothing sinister, it's nothing new in monetary economics. It's something that if you read economics, there's one guy called Phillips, he even developed a curve in which his question was, what is the level of inflation that you need to tolerate against unemployment? Because as you know, as more people get employed, they will chase goods. As they chase goods, the prices go up. So his question was, you do need to balance both inflation targeting as well as tackling the unemployment. And this instrument that you've got to balance both unemployment, so you can tolerate inflation to the extent that employment is being created, right? Now, it's important, therefore, to understand the role of monetary economics insofar as the whole issue about dealing with the unemployment that we basically have. So all I'm saying is that I think it's important to debate and argue around the nationalization of the bank, but I think the other important question that we need to look at very closely is the question of the mandate. There are comrades who argue that it is implicit in the Constitution that employment it's targeted in the constitution itself, because you cannot talk about price stability, which is aimed at creating balanced growth, and you've got high level of unemployment. So there are comrades who argue that it is implicit in the constitution that the notion of balanced growth means that the role of the Reserve Bank, the duality of the mandate, is inherent within the constitution itself. And I'm one of those who argue that, yes, we don't necessarily have to change the constitution to make that point explicit. I think it's the role of government, because the Reserve Bank is not independent. It takes the mandate from government. So as government, we could make that issue more explicit, the issue around unemployment, that is not just about inflation, but it's also about employment. So the Reserve Bank, insofar as that is concerned, it is not independent. It cannot be. It is not. And it's not something that we are creating. It is in the Constitution. It cannot be. It is not a referee and a player at the same time. Now, let me come to the question about what can we do to deal with the nationalization of the Reserve Bank as per the resolution of the conference. I think the first thing, we need to say, what will this cost? How much will the nationalization, the buying of these shares from the private owners? And once we determine that, we need to ask a question: can the fiscal space afford to enable us to buy those shares? And if yes, yes, we can buy. And in the context of competing demands on the fiscus, on one hand, we need free education. We also need to support the youth through this 350, which is not sufficient. And I agree with Comrade Colin here that we do need to add value to our minerals. I mean, we have almost 80% of the platinum in this country. And platinum is used in the production of what is called catalytic converters in your car, which are in demand in the global north, because catalytic converters help you in reducing the carbon emissions in your cars. And because of the environmental standards imposed in the global north, these catalytic converters are in demand, but they don't have platinum. They get our platinum from us and process it, and we only produce 13% of the catalytic converters, if my figures are still correct. So I fully agree with you that we do need to beneficiate. It doesn't make sense to export the raw materials that we have here in our own country in the interest of the global north. We're just reproducing the coloniality of our economy, because colonies, they were suppliers of raw materials to the global north, and us buying the manufactured goods. So I fully agree with you that the 350, it's not sufficient. We need to be creating more jobs, and we do have the minerals in this country to generate jobs. So once we agree that, okay, what is the priority now in the context of these other competing priorities? Is it affordable for us to buy the shares from the private shareholders? And if it is not, I have a second suggestion, which is that we can amend the Act of the Reserve Bank and say, as shareholders pull out of the Reserve Bank, they are legally forced to sell those shares to the state. Yes, it may take longer, it may take more time in dealing with this issue. So if you die, your children or whoever is in the will not be allowed to get these shares. Those shares must go to the state. It may take longer, but we do need to progressively show that we are committed to the implementation of the conference resolution. Because you're right, Comrade Colin, as leadership of the ANC, we have no right not to implement the decisions of conference. Yes, we can go back to conference and say, conference, we've had the following challenges in implementing the following decisions, but we cannot just say, no, we are not implementing these resolutions. And by the way, all resolutions, including provincial resolutions, I was just checking with the chair as we were sitting there on the Ngonyama Trust, and I think the Ngonyama Trust was sorted out by the Constitution. It was a hot potato, and I'll come back to the issue around what makes it, in certain instances, more difficult and problematic in implementing some of the resolutions. And I'm saying resolutions at all levels of our own organization. So that's my view insofar as the way in which we can implement this resolution. Let me talk about the State Bank, because Comrade Colin has raised the issue around the State Bank, and I know Comrade Sihle as well. Every time we meet in the PEC, because I'm a deployee here in KZN, every time we meet in the PEC, this is one of the issues that the PEC of KZN will always raise. So we conducted a study to determine the feasibility of a state bank. And we had different options. And one of the options that we've already expressed an interest in is buying of the shares, or which are owned by the Reserve Bank in the African Bank. I mean, this issue is no longer a secret. It's out there. The previous minister, Tito Mboweni, has spoken about this thing in public. So there's nothing market sensitive now about it, because our view was that because remember, when African Bank was in a crisis, the Reserve Bank took it over, took 50% of the shares. The other commercial banks took 25% of the shares. And the PIC took 25%. And in that memorandum of incorporation, when they were taking over this bank, there was a clause which said, if the Reserve Bank sells its shares, the other banks will also sell. The commercial banks in the main, because there's a conflict of interest. They are competing with the African Bank. They're in the same market. So they said, when the Reserve Bank sells its shares, they will also sell this 25% of the shares. There's a clause called come along, take along, come along clause. So if the Reserve Bank sells the 50% shares, the other 25% will also be sold. So these private shareholders, which are the commercial banks, they will have the right to sell the shares. Now, the Reserve Bank has gone out and said, we're now selling the shares, and anyone who's interested in buying these shares should express interest. And as the state, we did express interest around how much it's going to cost. We're still working out the figures on how much these shares are going to cost us in buying the African Bank. And in our view, just to come back to the point that Comrade Colin was raising about the Post Bank, the view was that you will now consolidate, take over the Post Bank and amalgamate it and use it and reincorporate it into this African Bank, whatever name you're going to call it, but you're now going to consolidate and make sure that you do have the State Bank in that regard. It's not an easy process. Conversations are also ongoing insofar as that issue is concerned. The last point is around the politics of resolution, the implementation of resolution. You know, policy is a function of balance of power. You know, this thing of neoliberalism which started largely getting implemented in the 70s with the rise of stagflation, which is the rise of unemployment and inflation at the same time. Starting in the 70s and here in South Africa, inflation was rising and the business people were saying, no, we're cutting wages. And you had Durban strikes, as you remember, which was a forebearer, which set the material condition for the formation of FOSATU and later COSATU. So the point about the policy implementation. So Hayek, the neoliberalism started rising in the 70s. It's not because there was no Hayek. These ideas were not there in the 30s. Right? Hayek is writing in the 30s, debating with someone like Keynes about how you reconstruct, how you rebuild the economy after the Second World War, First World War. Those ideas were there. So policy is not a function of whether your policy is coherent and all. It's also a question of the balance of power. At that moment, the working class was on the rise. The balance of power were in the favor of the working class. In global north, in Europe, you saw the rise of the welfare state. Welfare states were not given by the ruling classes, but they were conquered, were imposed by the working class. Now, we've got to ask the key question about why is it that sometimes we don't move with speed in implementing certain resolutions as the ANC, as society as a whole? Is it the question of some of the resolutions we've not carefully thought about? Is it the question of class interest? Is it the question of the balance of power? Which determines the pace at which certain resolutions get implemented or not. As Frederick Douglass will say, where there's no struggle, there's no progress. So I want to put that question back to the Youth League and say, you can pause, moan about policy implementation as long as you do not change the balance of power in society, in the movement. You will keep asking the very same question on why certain resolutions are not implemented. And I don't want to be populist here and telling lies. There are some of the resolutions that are complex, are difficult to implement. They are not as easy as we think. However, we have to also pose certain questions about what are the class interests, because the Youth League must be interested in analyzing the balance of power, in analyzing the class interests in the movement itself, in society, and say, how do you mobilize the working class youth, the students, and then the business youth in order, because many of these policy decisions that we undertake, they do have a huge impact on young people. I mean, you've got 12 million people unemployed in South Africa. It's almost the population of Zimbabwe. And I'm told 9 million people, young people, they are not in employment, they are not in training, they are not, which means they are not in schools, they are not in employment, they are not in education, they are not in training. 9 million of them, young people. And I want to throw it back and say, what are the tasks of the Youth League in this conjuncture? And what are the things that we need to do to shift the balance of power? Because implementation, policy choices, and the implementation of those policies is not a function of endless debates. In gala dinners, in conferences, it's also about shifting the balance of power through mass struggles. Because Roosevelt, he did not give a New Deal because he said, no, I'm pitting the working class. He did not give concessions to the working class because he said, the working class is poor, let me give them the following. It was as a consequence of working class struggles and struggles on the ground. He did not get free education because you kept on demanding it. You went on the streets. You were on the ground. You were protesting. You were fighting. As the Youth League say, fight, produce, learn. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Comrade Deputy Minister, also the NSC member, also the Tishom Kulu, Siyabonga kakhulu, Comrade David. Thank you, Comrade Colin, also for leading us on this. Comrades, we are pressed with time. We are going to really limit our speeches now. Also, there's a question of curfew. We don't want to find ourselves behind bars. Like really, we look really beautiful to be behind bars. So we'll be very short. Comrade Tutu, please come before. Comrades, we are about to get to the keynote, but before that, I am just going to call the national fundraiser of the ANC Youth League, Malala, to come forward and give a few announcements, and then we can move to our keynote speaker.
Thank you, Mphatsi Wahlele. It's actually just one announcement, is to say that there's a speed point that will be going around from table to table, person to person, wallet to wallet, bank card to bank card. And that speed point is money that will be donated to the ANC Youth League. So even NYTT members, SASCO, I see you over there. Our artists, we have a table of artists, my daughter, actors, actresses, artists who are with us, who love the ANC under difficult conditions of COVID. I don't know if there's anything left in the reserves, but every cent counts. So I'm just making that announcement to say that as we move towards our auction, which will be the main point, some of us who work full-time for Luthuli House have not been paid in 3 months, but we'll still try to dip into the little 10 rands left of the savings to donate to the ANC. So there's no amount that is too small, but also there is no amount that is too big. That's the most important part. But there's no amount that's too small, there's no amount that's too big. A speed point will be going from table to table, and we're encouraging everybody to make a donation, however small, however big. We would much appreciate that as we move towards our main item of fundraising, which will be the auction. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Comrade Tutu. Siyabonga kakhulu, Comrade Tutu. Comrades, I'm going to request that the moving around stops, the chatting stops, and the gossiping stops. Because I can't really differentiate whether you are whispering or you're gossiping. But basically what I'm trying to say is that nalabo sisa basincedisayo nabo bhuti abasincedisayo siyacela ukuthi sithi ukuthi gozololo kancane. It's not going to be long, comrades. We are going to introduce to you a former youth leaguer who was from KwaZulu-Natal when he was elected as the Secretary General of the ANC Youth League. We are presenting to you Comrade Jabu and your team. Don't disturb me. I am too beautiful to get angry, please. We are introducing to you a comrade who led in KwaZulu-Natal as a provincial secretary of the African National Congress, who also is now leading as a provincial chair of the African National Congress in KwaZulu-Natal. ANC emthumileke ukuthi akabe undunankulu waKwaZulu-Natal, athe undunankulu waKwaZulu-Natal njengoba elana nje asinikeza amasenti as the ANC Youth League. Comrade Sihle Zikalala, ndunankulu. Can we put our hands together and stand up for the Premier?
Please, let's be seated. Thank you. Thank you, program directors, both of you. My humble greetings to you. May I extend my greetings to the national leadership of the ANC, Mam Nkosazane Dlamini Zuma, Comrade Bathabile Dlamini, who also happens to be the president of the Women's League, Comrade David Masondo. May I also extend the greetings to the national leadership of the Youth League, Comrade Nongeba and Comrade Joy, and all members of the Youth League National Task Team, the provincial leadership of the Youth League, leaders in government, those who are MECs and mayors. May I also greet the leaders in the private sector, the chairman of Masmat Group, Mr. Kuseni Dlamini Siabingelela, and thanks for your presence. Chairperson of Moses Kotane Institute, Dr. Ngobo. On behalf of the African National Congress in KwaZulu-Natal, allow me to convey my revolutionary greetings to you, the youth and hope of our beautiful land. It is the youth of Anton Lembede, of A.P. Mda, of Jordan Kumete, Ngubane, of Albertina Sisulu, who carry the aspiration and promise of our nation. It is you who have picked up the spear of Solomon Mahlangu, Andrew Zondo, Portia Pilandwandwe, to honor the sacrifices of the heroic youth of our country, so that the future and the future generation can boldly rise to proclaim that the precious blood of our freedom fighters was not shed in vain. Day by day, you are advancing the struggle of Solomon Mahlangu, Hector Peterson, and their generation of guaranteeing that their innocent blood that was shed in defense of our land nourishes the trees that bears the fruit of freedom. We're very grateful to be part of this occasion where the ANC Youth League marked the 77 years of existence. When it was established, the Youth League determined itself and determined its mission of existence as freedom in our lifetime. Today, the current generations of the Youth League have vowed that we should attain economic freedom just in this generation. We concur with you. We support that idea. Hence, we remain firm on the implementation of radical socio-economic transformation, which entails industrialization in the country, land expropriation with no compensation, support to Africans in particular and blacks in general. I think we need to debate why we are unable to implement the resolutions. I read one book some time ago, written by Patrick Bond, Dr. Masondo. The book is titled Indicating Left and Turning Right. I think we need to pay attention to the character of the revolution itself, the pace and the commitment to the implementation of the programs of the organizations. Whether you will talk of the State Bank, you will talk of the land issue, or you talk of even the South African Reserve Bank. I can only concur that there are complications with nationalization of the Reserve Bank, but they need to be discussed honestly and openly within the structures of the movement. Because we cannot sink our economy on one point. So we need to balance. But that does not mean we must not implement the resolutions of the organization. Well, if there was enough time, I would have referred us to what Gala used to say about paralysis of those who are in authority. Because if you are given a responsibility to lead, you don't only have to interpret policies, but if you are a revolutionary, you must implement. Implement, implement, and implement. But having said that, let me conclude on one fundamental thing. What is the mission of existence of the ANC Youth League? Why we need the ANC Youth League today? I would say, as the youth of Anton Lembede, we still need the Youth League. That will revolutionize the ANC. But why we face such a situation? Let's be frank to ourselves. Post the 2007 National Conference in Polokwane, the ANC leaders resolved that the influence of the Youth League in the ANC is important, and therefore factions in the ANC would want to control the ANC Youth League. And then, if we are to build the ANC Youth League today, you must ask yourself, are you building the Youth League for a particular faction in the organization or the Youth League of the ANC? The Youth League must pledge its loyalty to the African National Congress. And the ANC is the constitution of the ANC, the resolutions of conference, the decisions of the ANC, not individuals. In the province, I've said it repeatedly, we don't need the Youth League that will salute ANC leaders or that will follow around ANC leaders. We need the Youth League that will have space to speak politics and revolutionize the ANC and be open to critique the ANC. And that's what we would want to see. Irrespective of who is leading, the role of the Youth League is quite important. But the second task is for the Youth League to champion the interest of the youth. Who speaks for the unemployed young people? Who speaks for young girls who are raped, even in institutions of higher learning? Just 2 weeks we've seen murders in institutions of higher learning, Western Cape, Gauteng, I think Free State. Who speak for that constituency? We need the Youth League. That will speak the language of the youth on behalf of the youth, on issues of the youth. What makes organization to be irrelevant is when they begin to speak politics that is out of their constituency. If a labor union will be concerned more about the political environment and don't balance between the political environment which is in the society and the interest of workers, if it does not balance the two, it will lose the relevance. And therefore, if the Youth League is to remain relevant to young people of our country, it must speak for them. It must be unapologetic. It must speak for free education. It must speak for quality education. It must speak for safety of students. It must speak for creation of jobs. It must ask us, what are you doing to create jobs for young people? We've engaged from the Youth League, and that's why it is easy to listen. The Youth League said to us, advance a call for scrapping the requirement of an experience at an entry level in government. We have taken that to the national conference and we have resolved on that, and it is now implemented by government. No department where if young person comes from a tertiary institution will be required to have an experience. You now get employed even without the experience at an entry level. The youth said to us, have dedicated programs that will help us participate in the economy. We set the clear plan. Let us then develop a plan that will nurture young entrepreneurs, but also fund them and then create the market for them. Hence, we establish the Youth Business Fund, capitalize it by just little. It was 70 million at the beginning, but more than 51 entities benefited, led by the youth and young people, creating 494 jobs opportunities and done by young people. Now, young people can participate in business. They can participate in the Black Industrialist Program. They can become not only service providers for government, but they can venture into agriculture, industrialization, tourism, and other sectors of the economy. So let us build the youth league that will talk for the youth, not the youth league for positions. Even us in the ANC, we must stop being mindful of our own positions. We're not in the ANC to serve ourselves. The revolution is not a career. The revolution is about changing the lives of the people. And what hinders progress in the revolution is when we think more about our careers. Comrade Gala once said, I'm told, in one of the NEC when they debated with Comrade Raymond Omgov. So, Mdala wasukuma what? Oh yeah. Omgov used to be very sharp when we were in Robben Island. And that's a thing we need to address in the ANC. Sharp in the ANC platforms, but when we get to government, we become something else. And I think that is important to address. Because we become government as if we live for government. But government is just a terrain to advance the revolution. And if we attend to that, it will be very, very helpful for us. As the province, we have adopted the integrated youth development strategy, which is a guide for our government and the ANC in the province for 2020 to 2030. And it unpacked a number of areas for the development, socio-economic development of the youth. So we want to say we're here as your ally in building the ANC Youth League. We shall never interfere with your internal operations. On who is elected, that is your own business. But what we would want is the youth that talk, is the Youth League that talk about the revolution of the ANC, the Youth League that advance and champions the interest of the ordinary young people of our country. This coming Saturday, as the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, following the launch of the ANC manifesto by President Cyril Ramaphosa, we will be taking our manifesto to the people. We're engaging with sectors and we're taking the manifesto direct to the people. We will start in Umtubatuba in Far North on Saturday. We do so because we are confident that the manifesto of the ANC is a pledge to create jobs, better education, and training for young people. Having listened to the youth of South Africa, we pledged in our manifesto to maintain and build sports and cultural centers for leisure and recreational activities. It is a pledge to our councillors that we must be rooted in our communities. It is a pledge that we must serve our people with dedication, fight corruption, and ensure that all state resources are used for the development of the society. We're hoping that the Youth League will be with us in this campaign up until we win the elections on the 1st of November. On the 1st of November. We want to close by reminding the youth that the words of the first president of the Youth League, Anton Lembede, remain more relevant even today. And he said, as I quote, "We're not called to peace, comfort, and enjoyment, but to hard work, struggle, and sweat. We need young men and women of high moral stamina and integrity, of courage and vision. In short, we need warriors. This means that we have to develop a new type of youth of stoical discipline, trained to endure sufferings and difficulties. It is only this type of the youth that will achieve the national liberation of African people," close quote. We say these words are more relevant to you as leaders of young people. You are not called to enjoyment, but to the struggle, and the struggle for the poor in particular. Raw young people, young lions, the ANC leads, the ANC lives, but let us be in a revolution. Let's not be in an association of friends and friendship. Thank you.
A big round of applause. Sihlalo siyabonga kakhulu. Thank you so much, Comrade Chair. Also, our Ndunankulu in KwaZulu Natal, siyabonga kakhulu, comrades. Siyafisa nje ukusho, Comrade Sihlalo, ukuthi indeed young lions are going to be with the ANC towards elections and beyond. We've done it already when we were going towards the registration weekend. You could see in all provinces, young people were on the ground, led by Comrade Joy Maimela and Comrade Noneba. Begu Umuntu Emntwini was still on the campaign mode. And we've announced to all members of the Youth League, Comrade Chair, that factions are suspended. Our wish is that factions be expelled totally. But we have said, because it's going to be a difficult journey to get there, factions are suspended until we win elections. Comrades and friends, we are here to fundraise for the African National Congress Youth League to continue to run its business, but also to go to the National Congress so that even those who are saying we're in a legitimate structure will be able to elect, a legitimate structure. Comrades and friends, the time has come. We're going to go to auction. I've seen Mambata, Mbogoto, and we look up to you, Ma. And we thank you for all your teachings. Mam Kosazan, but we really look up to you. Not that we want money, but we truly appreciate you. Tishomkul, Comrade David, the Deputy Minister of Finance, our artists, they're at the corner. Hello. Hello. Can you just stand up so that everyone can see you? Can you just stand up so that everyone can see you? In the meantime, can I have... In the meantime, can I request that Comrade Abner and Comrade Palo join me on stage? Now we close the doors since the mali man. The time has come. We're making money now. Siskuku, Aikale. We're making money now. Zikhala ngampela manje umampheki usheshe wabaleka kodwa inamba yakhe sinayo. Leadership yase Gala. Leadership, greetings, we love you. Close the door. Comrade Diego, all the way from Gauteng. You can't come from Gauteng, Jay. Comrades of Northwest, you can't come all the way from Northwest in Jay. Sasko, Comrade Butanan, Comrade Vezi, Ibuka Muso, Batala comrades. You can't come, Jay. Comrades, we are going to try and be very short in our auction. Comrade Tetani. Yes, Comrade Tetani Mabunum Kize can't come from Peter Maritzburg in Jay. It can't happen. Comrade Colin, an entire member of parliament, can't come all the way from Cape Town, Jay. Comrade Nongeba, as much as you are the convener, but we understand you works in the presidency. Yes. Comrade Coordinator, akwazi ukuthi Limpopo bakuphathisanga lutho. As much as you are a national leader, but askwazi. Comrade Rasta, we're in your region, eThekwini region. The fortunate part is that I'm from KwaZulu-Natal, and I'm going to mention faces that I'm saying. Comrade Mahlase, you can't come all the way from Nongo, Manje. Comrade Nomva Alunga's coffee phone. Yes. I'm going to allow Comrade Palo now to come. Comrade Kosi, the convener of Moses Mabhida region of the ANC Youth League. You can't come, Jay. All the MSs, Abakona, Mamloi, and Sambonobi. Yes, yes. We want money. Why lumsizi tube? Why lumsizi tube? Uge wa shumsizi tube. Uye wa shumsizi tube. Emale, 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 emale. Sozabala zaganjani. Asinamala sisebenze. Soya ganjani nkompene. Asinamala sisebenze. Emale, emale, emale. Mandla, awethu, ayingeni imali, ayingene, ayingeni imali, ayingene. Thank you very much, Comrade Abner.
Mandla. Viva sanitizer, viva. Amandla. Amandla. Viva ANC, viva. Viva Kwasatu, viva. Viva SACP, viva. Viva Kaizer Chiefs. Thank you very much, comrades, for coming here. May we have some order in the house a little bit. Let me start by saying the people who are in this hall have been chosen very carefully to come here, because all of you who are here have the interest of the ANC Youth League at heart. You carry critical, political, social, and economic consciousness to its logical conclusion. And we want you to make sure that the organization of young people of South Africa, the Parliament of the Youth, remains vibrant and achieve all the objectives that it has set for itself with this existing National Youth Task Team and its concomitant provincial structures. So what we are going to be doing, you can see there are some artworks that are coming to the stage. So Comrade Paulo, a member of the National Youth Task Team, together with the fundraising team, have asked us just to give a preface towards running this particular auction so that all of you comrades can be able to participate. And this is not the time to leave the hall. This is actually the time for the comrades who are outside. Bonke bangaphandle, bangene phakathi. But also we're quite grateful because Jabu is there. Jabu, where are you? Where is Jabu? Can Jabu stand up? Yes, Jabu is here. I think you saw that Jabu has been going around with the machine, collecting money. This money is for this event. It's for the fundraising to make sure that we assist the ANC Youth League to have its own conference. And we are grateful because a number of people have already been contributing. From the left, I saw the CFO was contributing a lot of money and other captains of industry were here. Unfortunately, we do not have the white monopoly capital, but the black capital or the disciplined revolutionary capital is here. And because it is armed with the right consciousness to assist a revolutionary movement. So we entrust all of you here to make a meaningful contribution to the ANC Youth League. So next to us here, comrades, are part of the artworks that will be auctioned. But before we speak about the artwork that is here, Comrade Paulo is going to come and introduce the work of the artists that have also contributed the artwork in this function. And she will explain much about it, then we'll come to this artwork. Comrade Paulo, Comrade Sanitizer, can you please come?
Mandla awethu, Mandla awethu, malibongwe igama lamakhosikazi. So I'll do I don't want to waste time and greet. I think we've all been greeted. I will start by introducing the first artist that's on display today. In fact, the story behind the artist is very important to us as the Young Women's Desk. The name of the artist is Nonka Nyiso, and Nonka was introduced to us as the desk when she was walking past Lutuli House, and she saw the mural of Mamwini. It was at the time of Mamwini's death, and Nonka was outside admiring the mural outside. And that's when convener Precious Banda saw her, and they had a conversation, and she came up to the office. And since then, Nonka has been an active member of the Young Women's Desk, aligning her work of the desk with her artistry. She's a curator and an artist, and she volunteered to make this artwork for us as the Youth League. And I think it's important that we begin to support artists, specifically during this time of COVID. Nonka has made this artwork from her pocket. Comrades, will understand how much work it takes to produce such artworks. And as a result, we'll want all of you to support us today. As Namali, as the Youth League, you all know that, and that's why we're here. So expecting all of us to bid specifically because this particular body of work comes from one of our own. So the artworks today, all three paintings start individually at 25,000. Now, it can't be that when we go to these upmarket wide galleries, we see artwork, even if someone puts a dot, we can price it at 100,000. But when Nonka makes work, you know, how can this work be 25,000? So I think it begins today when we start to demystify the idea of the pricing around black artists. So today, as the ANC Youth League, we want to affirm that we support black artists and we value their work. And as a result, this artwork today, individually, all of them start at 25,000. Yeah. Comrade Abner, I'd like you to lead this part. We're going to start our auction at 25,000. We'll start, I think you'll be able to better, Comrade Abner, to give the political significance of the people that Nonka has painted today, and then we can begin our auction from there. Thanks, Comrade Abner.
Well, my job is easy, is to call MEC Nomagugu to come and take the stage and say why she likes Harry Gwala so much. MEC Nomagugu, please come and take the stage.
Roar, young lions, roar. Roar, young lions, roar. In my days, we never used to do that. When we say roar, we would say roar. There you go. That's the youth league that I was part of. I don't know why I'm being put under the spotlight, but good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Premier. Good evening to the President, Mam Nkosazana Siabingelela, and leadership in total. I was just having a discussion with Comrade Usizo. As the province of KwaZulu-Natal, we have decided that the provincial government of KwaZulu-Natal, we have decided that we have a lot of hospitals that are named after people that we don't know. And all of them, we continue with those names that are foreign to us. We continue with the names that we do not relate to. We continue with the names that our people do not relate to. As a result, we took a decision that we are renaming the hospital of the Edendale Hospital, Comrade Tubata Mongameli, after Ubaba Harry Gwala. So, when I saw this picture, I thought it would be a very fitting picture that can be put up in Edendale Hospital, because he lived in that community. He led in that community. He mobilized in that community. So, my salary was taken away this month, so anginayo kahle capacity of buying of buying the picture. Kodwa ke ngiyacela kosomabhizinisi ukuthi please, if ningasithengela nje siyosifaka esibhedlela eEdendale, we will be the happiest. By the way, Edendale is not the only hospital we are renaming. We are renaming King Edward Hospital as well, after Umama Victoria Mxenge, because she worked there. We have decided that we also need to continue to honor our heroines, because if we don't tell the story of women in leadership, no one is going to do so. Siyabonga kakhulu.
Okay, thank you so much. So the picture of Gala, the Lion of Midlands, will be going to the Department of Health in KwaZulu-Natal. But should you wish to top up, please, this is your opportunity. Is there somebody who says, no, we want to take the picture away from the Department of Health in the hall? That will be very interesting to see. Is there anyone who goes to buy it for more than they did already, which is for 25,000? So is there anyone, 30,000? Is there anybody in the house? Yeah, it looked like I'm seeing someone. Are you raising your hand there? Theo. Yes, Theo is raising a hand, 30,000. Yeah, is there anybody else? I'm looking, I'm going around the hall. Is there anybody? Is there any other hand this side? 40, yes, there's a 40 hand. There's a hand there, 40,000. 45. 35. Okay, can we go to the one that says 40,000? 40,000. This is Mdala we are speaking about. Erikwala. Kwatambuza nasenanda. Anybody? 35, 40,000, 40,000. It looked like I see somebody there. Is there anyone in the corner there? That other table? So going once, going twice. Yes, there's a hand here, 40,000, yeah. Oh, great. And then is there any other hand? I'm looking around the table. Can we beat 40,000, 45,000? Can we get to 45,000? Any other? 45,000? All right, so going once, 45,000. Going twice. Oh, yes, another hand for 45,000. Yeah, can we get somebody to beat that price? Going to 50,000 rand, 50,000. Final offer, 50,000, 50,000 rand, final offer. For 50,000 rands, can we get a final offer? I'm seeing, look like somebody is whispering that side. Can we get to 50,000? Going once, 50,000. Yes, 50,000, yeah. Thank you. So this picture is now sold officially for 50,000 rands. Thank you very much. You may come and take the picture. For
Thank you very much. The next painting we're going to auction is the one of Baveli Lehlongwe. Now, Ma, President, as a young woman, she has Still in the room, but Ningam Sabi in the room. Ningam Sabi. But we're saying as a young woman, says she has Ma. As we know, Uba Velile is a sister to us. She's a mentor to us. She groomed us. We would not be the people that we are today if it would not be for her. So this is a very important painting for us, and we thank you, Nonka, for making this particular one. And you know what? Uba Velile would have bid for everything here. So Maha was saying that in her honor, no one in this room must outbid you. Because as the young woman says, go to style le painting. Bidding starts at 25,000. Mamba Tabile, do I hear 25,000? Mamba Tabile, do I hear 25,000? 25,000, ma. 25,000. Do I hear 30,000 for the portrait of Baveli Lehlongwe NDZ? Do I hear 30,000? Do I hear 30,000? NDZ. 30,000. There we go. Mambata. 30,000. Let's go. 35,000, Mambata Village. Do I hear 35,000 for the young women's stakes? Baveli Lehlongwe. 35,000. 35,000. 35,000, Mambata. 35,000, let's go. Do I hear 40 in the room? Precious, you can't fundraise as our convener. Good is Toluba Valil. Colin, as an ally and supporter of young women, as a feminist ally, as our young member of parliament, do we hear 40,000? Colin. Do we get a pledge from Colin for 40,000 for the portrait of Baveli Lehlongwe? Colin. 35,000 going from Mom NDZ. Mambata, besakcela. Besakcela, 40,000. Final offer. No higher, 40,000, Mambata. Let's hear from the businessmen. This one is for the feminists in the organization. Let's see around the room. 40,000 rand. Wesley, 40,000 rand. Let's go. Or looking that side, we've got our businessman there. I can see him. He's there in this table here. 40,000 rand. Premier. Bavelila was from here. This is where she was from. Premier. 40,000. We've got 40,000 rand. Going so for 40,000 rand to the premier. Please come collect your painting, premier. Thank you very much.
No, thanks. I know I must be clear. I know a few colleagues who were with me in the Youth League. We will take it for the young women's desk, but we'll take it at 50,000, but 10,000 will go to the artist. Yes, thank you.
Well, the final portrait of a radical youth leader, former Secretary General of the ANC Youth League, Comrade Cindy Somagaga. So it looks like there are more hands for it already. National Convener, you want to say something? Oh, wow. Well, thank you, GM, for that offer. Thank you, GM, for that offer. I'm sure we could do better. Cindy Somagaga live with many of you, and I see some of his personal friends this side. So you are able to top up this offer. Can we go for 45,000? 45,000 for the radical SG of the ANC Youth League. 45,000. I see hands. It looks like there's Herikwala region here. Municipalities here. Yeah, Herikwala municipality. Yes, Herikwala says 45. Yes. Yes. Then there is an offer to top it up to 50. Oh, to the artist, the Harry Gwala is pledging 5,000 to the artist. There's another offer here. Wow. In addition to the 40,000 rands we already have, there's another contribution of 15,000 and a pledge of 5,000. Wow, we are doing well. Can we go again? Can we go to 60,000 rands? Can we do that? Can we do that? Are we? Yes, it seems there's a hand somewhere there. I saw a hand somewhere there. Can we do that? Yes, here's an offer here, this side for 60,000. Are we getting an offer? Are we getting an offer? Oh, the table is making an offer for 50,000 rands of this particular portrait. Amandla. Yes. National convener. Yes, please. Is that what we are doing? Okay, so this is another top up. Yes, it's a top up. We have a 40,000, we have a 15,000 rand pledge, we have a 5,000 with artists, we have a top up of 50,000 rands. We are doing very well from the table. Thank you very much. Can we go ahead? Any other top up? We are at 95,000. Can you see? We are at 95,000 rands. Let's do 100,000. Can somebody pledge 5,000, another 5,000 or so? Can we conclude to make it 100,000? Just the last. Oh, Mama NTZ, 5,000 rands. So we then have 100K for this. Shall we give ourselves a round of applause? Thank you so much. I shall now ask, I don't know where Paulo disappeared to. Is Paulo still in the house? Yes, Paulo, my task is done for the political part of the artwork. The remainder of the program remains with you. Thank you very much. Thank you, comrades. Viva ANC Youth League, viva! Viva ANC Youth League, viva! Ivuga ibambe. ANC Youth League. Well, this is how we conclude with the auction for tonight. The program directors may come and resume their stage as we continue with other felicities of this gala. Thank you very much. Thank you, comrades.
Hey, siyabonga. Besithi ma ngenhlonipho umama Bathabile besicela nje siyabona isikhathi asikho besicela uma ezobingelela abantu abasha phambi kokuthi sichubeke. Thank you. Alibongwe.
Amandla. Viva ANC Youth League, viva. Okay, thank you very much, directors of the program, Sizo no Kulegan. I would also like to recognize the convener, Nongeba. This is very important to be recognized, Nongeba. We do it to men only and not to women, as well as the coordinator. The NEC, led by Comrade Nkosazana, Comrade Masondo, and Comrade Sihle. Other members of the Minangazuguti NYTT, Bengazuguti Kamalshinchil. Young Women's Desk members, most of the MECs here are members of the PEC. Others are members of the PEC of the Women's League. Noma Kuku is the deputy chairperson of the Women's League. Mayors and regional leadership, business women and men. We would like to greet you and say we are happy to be with you today. And that we want to thank the NYTT for leading the way, because since that act was introduced, it was like we were all in a shock and we have not been raising funds. So you've led the way, and it's important that you lead the way because the life of the ANC will be asked from this generation, not from us. So it's important for all of you to try and ensure that you keep the ANC strong. And one other issue that I would like to raise is that I've had a number of sessions with different members of the NYTT. And there has been an element of fear by young men. Some would come to me crying, "Good aibo, sekuthiwe ngiyathengisa." And I would ask, why are they saying you are selling out? And there would be no grounds for that. And I think men are used to women that always are fellow travelers. If they see as firm and strong women, they feel threatened. Some even came to me, Colin, to say, "Hey, Colin is not on our faction, but he is the one that is supporting us now." And and I don't want people to feel uncomfortable about that. But what I think is important is that you are breaking factions. And breaking factions is good for the future of the ANC. And we've been discussing and talking about this in our meetings, that stop making old people happy through your blood and sweat. Work for the future of the ANC. And that is why I'm talking about this. It's not because Ngumam Kopos. It's because this is good for the ANC. Others would come and say, "Ay sesiyasebenza kahle mama." And niyamazi ukuthi ubani umama. Ay sesisebenza kahle and things are coming all right. And that is what we want. But also, Nongeba, amongst the people you lead, you must ensure that you don't have yes buses. Those people are problematic. The ones that always say yes to you, yes, yes, we agree, yes, we agree, are problematic. You must have people that are going to differ with you, but not for their own personal reasons, for the sake of the organization. The organization must always be number one, not us as individuals. The problem is now, your comrade Sihle spoke about, that we are too much about ourselves. If I'm not a minister, the ANC must ban. The ANC must get finished. The ANC must be disbanded. If I'm not a mayor, the ANC must be disbanded. It must lose a membership. We did not join the ANC for positions. We joined the ANC to fight for the liberation of the people of South Africa. Our positions are just there for us to advance the struggle for people's emancipation, not for us to feel big and feel that we are all that the people have. At all times when you lead, you must tell yourself that you are given an opportunity at a particular time to lead. And you must always know that there are people that are better than you. But if people give you an opportunity to lead, and you must lead in a particular way, respect them, and not think that you are clever than everyone in this world. That is what we must try and do. Amandla.
Cela sicela uPresident izandla. Thank you so much, President. As we draw closer to the end of the evening, I'd like to ask the young lady, Usis Nonkanyiso, just to stand up and just wave. She is the artist that has been... She must come forward. Please come forward. Yes, asimshayeleni izandla guys, please. So, igama lakhe uSisi Nonkanyiso, and I understand that there would be those who would want her to commission her, maybe for other leaders that we did not ask her to draw, or maybe you want her to do a mural of you, etc. Do not be shy to take her contacts. She's sitting at table 13. And she needs more business, guys. Let's build young artists. Amandla!
Thank you, comrades. We are really coming to the end of our program. We have just 2 items left. Going to request, comrades, NYTT law. So I wouldn't want the next meeting to be about me. So to protect myself from such, I am going to request all NYT members who are present here to come to the stage. All of. Comrades of the NYTT, Comrade Joy, Comrade Nongeba, Comrade Palo, Comrade Precious, Comrade Kulegani, Comrade Colin, Comrade Tutu, all NYTT members that are present here today, please come to the stage. I don't mean to control you, but can you please make it quick? Comrades, Mahlama NYTT members. Comrades, these are our NYTT members for those who do not know them. Comrades, here we have Comrade Colin Malaji. Comrade Colin Malaji is heading our governance subcommittee. This is the lady that is beautiful, well, led by very beautiful women. This is Comrade Nongeba. Ooh, to Comrade Nongeba. This is Comrade Nongeba. Behind me, I can hear the voice of Comrade Palo. I think it's Comrade Palo. Yes, this is Comrade Palo Mena. Comrade Joy, the coordinator, is seated there, but she just went out. She's going to come back now. This is Comrade Precious Wemvubu. She was carrying a strambok yesterday, leading young women. And then that is our beautiful tutu who made us gather here today. And that is our internationalist. When it, the vice president of UC. So he is fresh from Russia, comrades. He landed today. And he has been telling us that he has temperature shock. He's minus 30 to 25 degrees. He's not coping. But these are our members. Others could not come, comrades. These are the people that are leading the ANC Youth League, and these are the soldiers that are entrusted in making sure that we go to the National Congress. But while we are on the journey to go to the National Congress, these are the soldiers that are busy conscientizing young people about the ANC Youth League, but also campaigning for the ANC. Saze sayithwala ANC sibancane. Sithwele nje asikho nasemalistini ke kodwa ke kothwala. Comrades, I'm going to hand over to Comrade Precious Banda, who's here not as a convener of Amayanga Yanga, but here as a head of the Political Education Subcommittee of the NYTT. Apparently, it's the only working subcommittee to come and toast. I don't see a class. Can we get a class? We don't have a class? Please lead that. While Kulegani is getting us a class, comrades, I know Comrade Tutu is still going to come with the vote of thanks, but I just want to say, as much as we understand that there is leadership that deals with the idea of the programs, but I want to mention the gentlemen that are working at the 7th floor of Luthuli House, and I am going to request them to stand up and thank them for putting up such a good work in supporting Comrade Tutu. Comrade Mava, where are you? Comrade Junior, where are you? Comrade V, where are you? Comrade Jabs, Comrade Chabu, where are you? Thank you so much, comrades. Nizin, Comrade Vuyo, there is Comrade Vuyo. Thank you so much, comrades, for assisting the NYTT to carry out its duties. We have the glasses, but I don't see the champagne. So basically, we have a crisis. So toastanga man. Vele young people must drink water so that they are. But it's just for toast. Bring it. Comrades, whatever you have, you're going to toast with whatever. We don't have time, honestly. We can't wait for bottles of champagne. We are going to toast with whatever that you have. And Comrade Precious Banda is going to be leading us in a toast as we celebrate the 77th anniversary of the ANC Youth League. Comrade Precious Banda, please come forward.
Amandla, awethu, malibongwe, ayaroka, viva the ANC Youth League, viva, forward to renewal, forward, forward to rebuilding, forward, forward to reclaiming, forward, forward to reviving, forward, forward to repositioning, forward. Thank you, comrades, program directors. We are going to request comrades, as we just conclude, that comrades stand, they rise on their feet for us to do the toast. We are going to do 3 toasts. Thank you very much for rising. The first toast is to mobilizing young people towards the victory of the ANC come 1st November. The first toast goes to mobilizing young people towards the victory of the ANC come 1st November. Pata ANC, pata. Pata ANC, pata. And we mobilize them and put Mucha Palong. It goes that way. Yeah. The second toast, comrades, goes to building a vibrant ANC Youth League, to building a vibrant, fearless, radical, militant ANC Youth League. The last one goes to encouraging the participation of young women into the ranks of the ANC Youth League. It has to be deliberate because we are making history. We are led by young women. So we want to see young women nationally to branches. So we are going to fight for intersectionality, comrades. The LGBTQI will be in the structures. All minorities and national groups will be in the structures. But to defending the legacy that was created by the NEC by appointing young women to lead the ANC Youth League. Malibongwe. Thank you, Program Director.
Thank you so much, Comrade Nebsi. Please don't move. Please don't move, President. Comrade Junior, people must see how beautiful you look. Please come. Comrade Junior, thank you so much. No, we're not done. Comrades, there is a cake of the ANC Youth League here. We're just going to symbolize cutting the cake by Comrade Unongeba and other NYT members. Leadership, Comrade David, Comrade Mambata, Mam NTZ, Susnoma Kuku, Mam Lois, Mam Shengewe. Can you? Amanza phela fast Colin ngoba wajwayelanga. Long live the ANC Youth League, long live. Long live the ANC Youth League, long live. Pilanguna Pagate, ANC Youth League, Pilanguna Pagate. Pilanguna Pagate, ANC Youth League, Pilanguna Pagate. Abanya baya ANC Youth League. Ayabanya bayas ANC Youth League. Ustep number 1 Kwalisa yefo. Ustep number 2 Patali Tendra. Ustep number 3 Fumanum Khabo. Ayabanya bayas ANC Youth League. Amandla away too, as we invite to Comrade to come forward and give us a vote of thanks. Sifuni women on topo, iyo Sifuni women on topo. Sifuni women on topo, Sifuni women on topo. Sifuni women on topo. Sifuni